measured drops of about 0.03 milliliters.
Media, please.
The vaccine is reconstituted.
All right. We welcome all of us to the final day of this event. We are sorry for keeping you waiting this long. We are supposed to have two product presentation this morning before the main seminar. But I think maybe they just want to help us to conserve time. Those two companies might come in later, but right now we'll be going straight into the seminar presentation by Dr. Wajeti. Dr. Wajeti, James Wajeti is the GM of Adamo Farms, and is going to be leading us on gaining the edge in broiler production. That's the topic he's going to be discussing with us for the next 40 minutes to 1 hour. And that will start in a couple of like 5-6 minutes. In fact, he's ready, but he wanted to get us some of the gifts the company has for attendees. So you want me to let you know that you should please just give us like another 5 minutes. He's just trying to coordinate his people to bring in the gifts. And once he's in another few seconds, we'll start with his presentation. Then after that, we're going to have a syndicate section wherein we're going to have time to ask questions on everything that concerns broiler production. So it's promised to be a very big one. For the syndicate section, we're going to be having Dr. Wajeti again is going to be part of it. We're going to have a representative from Big Dutchman. Amo Bin will be represented. We're going to have somebody also from Animal Care, and somebody also coming from Breedwell. So the session promises to be a very explosive one. And I want to encourage you to please just bear with us a few more minutes for Dr. Wajeti to be ready. And in 5 minutes or thereabout, we'll be starting. So doctor is in the house. So right away, we go into the main reason why we are all seated here. And please kindly join me in welcoming presenter, Dr. James Babawageti. Okay, he's trying to get his slides ready. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, how was your night? And once again, I want to welcome us all to the third day of the Nigerian Poultry Show 2021. I believe since this year's edition started 2 days ago, we must have added one or two values to ourselves. Without much ado,
I want us to go straight into today's seminar, after which, just like yesterday, we'll be having another syndicate session. It's going to be educative, I promise us. So right away, I want to introduce to the microphone our speaker for today, our lecturer, Dr. James Baba Bageti.
Thank you, my boss. Great farmer. Great great farmer. No farmer. Please, can I have my slide? Okay. Well, first of all, I want to appreciate the PAN official for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge. So I appreciate you, sir, all of the PAN official. Today, the PAN official give me topic to handle, that is gaining the edge in broiler business. I know some of us have been to broiler for years. And I pray that after this seminar, we are going to gain an edge in our business. But before I will start, I want to, my lecture is usually be discussion, not one man show. Is there any broiler farmer in the house? Okay, let me start. Okay, madam, you can come, ma. Sorry. Okay, anyone? Madam, okay, go. Madam, can you tell us at what age you slaughter your birds or you sell your birds? At what age?
That I started mine.
That you said you normally sell your birds. At what age?
Sometimes 12 weeks. And yes. The reason why I made it that way is, do you know the reason why? I feed my bird all through the night. I had an inverter in my place. So I want my bird to be big so I can have big value. Then there's a company I used to give to for years. If I'm not maintaining that size, they don't take it at the price I give it to them, sir.
So what's your FCR? The FCR now, what's the FCR? The cost, the FCR.
Last year to be precise, I sold at 9.5. One.
Okay, thank you, ma. Ma, mommy, sorry. Yeah? No, it's really no. Okay.
Hello, good morning. My name is Onigbanjo Sekinata, babe. Normally, I dispose of my broiler at 6 weeks.
Okay.
6 weeks, because once it's more than that, even a day is a loss to me. Except if I'm preparing for like Christmas and I have market for it. I don't sell less than 5,000. I don't sell, no, not 6 weeks. So that is if I have to brood up to like, 12 weeks and all that, from 5,000 upward. But if I'm supplying, it's 6 weeks.
Okay, that's 6 weeks. What is, how many feed did you use to maintain that? I want the kg at 6 weeks. Sorry, what's the kg?
Normally, like sometimes 2 kg.
How many feed did you use to feed the 2 kg? How many feed?
Except I calculate it, so I don't have it.
That's a problem.
I don't have
so,
it.
One person. Yes, one person, yes. Sorry, so that we get where we are going for this topic.
Great farmer. No farmer. At times, in the recent times, having used some professional feed, I achieved 2 kg, 1.92 kg at 28 days.
Good.
My PAN members in Akure can testify, bear me witness.
Yeah.
So 32 days, 35 days at most.
Good.
I use 140 bags
okay.
per 1,000 to achieve it in 5 weeks. I don't exceed 5 weeks. Yes. 140 bags.
So can you tell them that how many, let me back now. How many kg? Hello, one house. How many kg do you achieve that 2 kg? What about bag?
How many?
Kg or bag? Kg.
How many kg per beds?
So the kilogram that give you that 2 kg,
that's a 3.5, 3.45, 3.5 at times.
that means
At 28 days, it's around 3.4. At 30 days, 3.5. Though we always have runs.
Good.
We always have runs.
That's one thing.
And I want to believe that if you have those runs, put them aside, you have to you may go ahead 140 bags. So that is my observation.
Thank you, sir. So this training today, Oga, can you put the slide? Hello, gaining the edge in broiler business. That's the topic for today. And even my brother that are getting 2 kg at 35 days, he used 3.5 kg of feed. Oga, sir, after this training, you are going to achieve more again. That's the issue of this training. When I was posting a platform, even here some people say it's not possible. It's not possible in Nigeria. It's not possible. But it's possible. I think I have one customer now, a farmer that testified that it's possible. So my topic for today is gaining the edge in broiler business. Gaining the edge in broiler business. Next, okay. Raising broiler is much like building a house. Raising a broiler is much like when you are building a house. And a good deal of effort goes into planning and construction when you're doing broiler. And to maximize, that's what we're after now. To maximize, I like that word, to maximize broiler performance. To maximize broiler performance, it is important to consider multiple aspects of genetics. So you have to know the genetic of the birds you are collecting, not the old broiler. When you're collecting broiler, you have to know which one are you collecting. We have, I think maybe if you have some broiler here, they can help us. And you have to know the chick quality. Please, my dear farmer, let us attend pan. If you are a member, if you are a farmer, either broiler, Tokiko, and you're not attending pan, you are the problem in the industry. If you see pan are not active, is the member. And most of the pan, they are using the money to run the association. And that's why they're not performing, because there's no member. Hello, sir. Why are you carrying my slide now? Hello? Okay. Because this chick quality, I can tell you, all the hatcheries in Nigeria, they are not good. They may be good today, they may be good tomorrow. And because farmers don't know, you are ignorant, and they are playing on our intelligence. That's chick quality. Because they know the farmer don't know. You won't just collect birds, put on floor, feed them. It has gone beyond that one. As a farmer, you must know the chick quality. I'll come to that. Then there's health, and then the environment, the housing. These are things that can use to maximize your profit. Next slide. You know, sometimes where we are costing, that's why I was asking, I don't know exactly. And that's why even the egg farmers, they are causing problem for us. They don't cost their egg. They all buy feed, sell, and the same thing with broiler. They're also causing price issue. They don't cost the broiler properly. If you look at cost of production in broiler, hello. Okay, these people we don't have time, and they're messing me here. If you look at it, they're what we call fixed asset. The fixed asset, they're the housing, the tools, equipment like cages, drinker, feeder, and other things that are used. These are fixed assets. There's also land use. There's also depreciation. Do you factor that one into your production? Because if you have a house, you have depreciating. Or maybe, okay, I'm going to, it costs me so amount of million to build this house. Let me cost it, maybe for 10 years. And each person you are taking, you have to put the cost into. Are we doing like that? That's why the problem. So, but most of our variable, we are looking at the feed, the day old cost, the medical vaccine, electricity or fuel, and litter. Some farmers are buying litter, but they don't even cost it. Transportation is also a problem. If we just yesterday, a farmer here, after we were discussing about costing, I said, Madam, how about here? I don't know she's here now. How about transportation? She said, if the car is built her husband, she don't buy fuel. So that means she cannot get the correct cost of the broiler, and you're causing problem for us in the industry. Because you have to cost all those one, your community farm. Then the returns, there's live chicken sales. People are selling liters now to make money for fertilizer, but don't use a liter on your farm for fertilizer, even though you have E. coli. Whether you have broiler, you have layer. If you are putting liters around your farm, you will have E. coli. Then feed sack, even the sack You are buying, sell the feed, they are selling. People are buying. These are part of return. Well, next slide. From my own 28 years of this poultry industry, these are pitfalls in broiler production. These are what we call pitfalls that farmers are for. One, starting too big and expanding quickly. You want to start too big because there's money in broiler. You want to start too big and you want to expand before problem. I have a farm now. They want to start because there's a market. At the end, they use the office for broiler. They even convert the office because they didn't plan. And the farm has collapsed. So learn along the way. Start small and learn along the way. Then avoid overinvestment upfront. How to plan. Then test your market potential and grow with it. You have to test your market potential and grow with it. Don't say, oh, there's market, you just go into it. And that's why we need to help the industry and we need to regulate the industry. So that anybody, the power will know, okay, there's farm here, and they want to stand like this. So if without regulating the industry, we'll just be here where we are. We cannot grow. We still have this grow here and there. When there was COVID, Canadian people have to regulate the breeders so they cannot put many old chicks into the market. That's regulation. So there will not be excess because there was no movement. Then overplacing and tying of cash flow. If you tie your cash, before you know it, there's one of my colleagues, one in a seminar, he met me in water, that he took loan from, they give him loan from BOI. Yes, along the line, broiler are 4 weeks, no money to feed the broiler again. So, because he overplaced without doing budgeting. Next slide. That's no planning properly, no budgeting like that one. Plan for water requirement. Please, water is very important. And when I talk of water, gone are the days you just see land and clear. Wrong. Before you start either layer or umbrella, know that there is water there. There is a farm in Kano. It's a big farm. They have more than 12 looking for water, no gate. To go and get water down to feed the broiler, and there's problem. Just good land. So before, if you are a broiler farmer here now, you are layer, and you are using too much of antibiotic, go and market, your water is hard. Because if the water is hard, there is calcium and magnesium inside. That will make hard water. And when you have calcium and magnesium, it tends to increase the pH of the water. And bacteria like high pH. So there will be problem. And sometimes you go to lab, they will recommend some product. There are some products, if the water is hard, the product will not work. Because the magnesium and calcium will bind up product in the GIT. So water requirement is very important. Before you start broiler, go and test your water. Though we do test for farmer free. We have equipment for that. We do it free. We can do free for you. Then plan for correct stocking density. You have to know the measurement of your house. Before you take your bath, go and know the specification, the requirement. Then you have to go along with it. Then identify your market and market area beforehand. I have a farmer in Atta. Do you know the market? That farmer in Atta, his market is Jigawa. Not even in Southwest. He identified the market. Before he go to broiler, he did the research. So there is market in Jigawa. So what he did, he now opened his core room in Abuja. Hello, people are messy. Okay. His market is in Abuja. It's the core room. In Wataya, Atta, you transport the broiler to Abuja. The customer from Jigawa come and pick it. When they are talking of, he don't have that problem because he identified his market. There is market everywhere. Next, this is overstocking. Stocking density too high. You see, low feed intake. You go, my feed are not good. You say maybe the feed is not good, though. It's overstocking. Oh, low growth rate. You start complaining, changing feed for health here. It may be overstocking. Poor quality carcass. Sometimes you can't, they reject it. Low litter and litter quality. Be changing litter. There's some farmer. 3, 4, they'll be changing litter. Stressing the bars is because of stocking density. Then there's high chance of getting disease. And then the faster spread of disease because if they're overcrowded. Next one. There are already multiple age houses. These are pitfalls. We have not got the training. Pitfalls. Then the multiple age housing. It increases of disease spreading from old to young. You see some farms, if you go to a Shehu side, you see one pen, they have different age group. Some farmers do see different. That one managing by security and house cleaning is difficult. How can you clean when there's one person, another person here? How would you do fumigation? Then managing vaccination program is more even difficult because you are vaccinating your birds, another one do for Gomboro is a problem. Then radar, go back. Radar, always all in, all out. Then if you plan all these things, next one, because of time, no record keeping. We don't keep record. Keep your record, please. Then not using reportable brand feed or fish seller or chick supply. You must go for reportable. No, don't buy all this because it's your friend. Because you're the person. It's business. So there are some people that are known, but feed dealers go for them. Because feed is the most biggest expensive when you're raising chicken. So don't compromise it. Next one. Not consulting expert. Don't say because you're the business, you know it all. Always consult the main expert. Even when I say expert, not somebody give you animal science. There are even some people that have been in the business for long. So they know it. Consult them. Share knowledge. No proper clean out or clean out time. These are problems we are seeing in broiler business all over Nigeria. Next one. Okay, now we are going to the main topic. This is the evolution of broiler. This is what we call evolution of broiler. In 1930, hello? 1930, don't forget that broiler 1930. To get 2 kg, you have to feed 9.4 bag of feed, not like 3.5 in 1930. And it takes 112 days. Then after 20 years, they now do research, 1950. They now work on the broiler. Broiler takes 6 kg of feed. To get a 2 kg, they consume 6 kg of feed. It takes 84 days. Then after 20 years again, 1970, now they work 5 kg of feed, 52 days. Now, 3.5 kg of feed in 40 days. If you are not getting like that, you're not a farmer. I thank God I have a friend here. So that you know it's textbook. There's one man here that is farm. So if you're a broiler farmer, you must get 2 kg at 40 days. And if your feed is above 3.5, it's a mess. You're already in a mess. But you can go to 4 kg. It's okay. So please, that was as a farmer, you have to know all this. Next. The target of broiler production, our target, where are we going to broiler? Is for 3 things. Your target. 1, live body weight. What after is the live body weight? Abi? Then the second one, feed conversion rate. If you are raising broiler and you are not doing feed conversion rate, you are not in broiler business. Then minimum mortality. These are the 3 factors that you are looking for as a broiler farmer. Next. Broiler farming is a sprint. Broiler farming is a sprint. One layer is marathon. When there's sprint, you run very fast for short distance, not run for long distance. You run very fast for short distance. That to run or go very fast for short distance. Broiler farming is all about reaching the finish line of target weight in recorded time with good quality product. Next, broiler management is like 100-meter race. So have that at the back of mind. It's like 100-meter race. Each second, you fell behind. You will never gain in broiler. So, hello. Hi. For every 10 grams you are behind on your bird weight by 1 week, you will be like 70 grams by. That's a secret in broiler. If, for example, you supposed to get 180 at 7 days, and you get 170, that 10 grams you are getting is like 70 grams back at slaughter. That's it. Next, I'll see what, because every hour in broiler represents 0.1 of his life. That's why if you are raising broiler, you talk in hour. If you're a broiler farmer, you are talking in day or week, you miss it. You have missed the line. It's in hours. Just like laying business now. If you are layer farmers, you are talking about weeks. You can never make it laying business. In layer, we talk of weight. I can only talk of week when it comes to vaccination. Oh, what's the age of my bag? Just say they are 950 gram, 160 gram. Let's talk on weight, not weeks. Because the laying depends on the weight, not on the weeks. Your bag can be 2 weeks, they're not start laying until they get the required weight. Are you getting the point? And for those that buy pound of lay, if you are buying pound of lay based on week, you're not in business. Let's stop that mentality. Let's not stop fooling ourselves. Don't buy pound of lay based on weeks. Buy pound of lay based on the weight and infirmity. If not, you will not make it. If you complain, price say egg sell it this and this. Weight, infirmity, when I buy point of lay. Every hour represents 0.1 of the umbrella chicken life. In 24 hours, you can lose 2.4%. You can lose 2.4 performance can be lost. So please, when you're raising umbrella, it's per hour. It's per hour. Next, look at umbrella. Don't talk of like 42 days. By that, look 42 days. It's like 1,008 hours. So I'm talking about umbrella has 1,000 hours. And in that 1,000 hours, sorry, the umbrella need only 330 hours of your time. That's the brooding period. Once you're able to work here, you are good to go in umbrella business. Next, after 7 days rearing, it is known if the flow could be good or poor. Umbrella business. That's what you call inflection point umbrella business. It is after 7 days. Hello, ICT people, you are disturbed here. It is after. Yes. Okay. Let me see. Yes. Okay, they said that my training is online. So I should stay in one place.
No.
Eh?
We have to show you on the screen. So that...
Okay. After 7 days rearing, it is known if the flow could be good or better or poor. Just like in layer. After 12 weeks, it's 12 weeks terminal your performing umbrella, 12 in layers, 12 weeks. After 12 weeks, Isa Brown, if you don't get 1 kg after 12 weeks, forget it. In layers, you are target 1 kg at 12 weeks. If you don't get 12 kg at 20 weeks, your bird cannot perform. Take it or leave it. It's a brown. That's what we call inflation point. So you make sure that your bird must get 12 kg, 85% of them must get 1 kg. Because after 12 weeks, layers are fully matured. They're 81% matured. Yes, 81% matured. You don't know? After they're 81% matured. By 18 weeks, they'll be 1%, they start laying. If you maintain that one, by 22 weeks, they're supposed to be on 80%. If you're not getting 80% at 22 weeks without prolapse, you're not a farmer. And it's very simple. We have done training for Ogun farmer, hidden loss on layer. If you didn't have the list, go and Google Panok, Facebook. You see a training. Next, 7 days body weight. If I say 7-day body weight now, because that's the inflation point. The aim of a farmer, breed standard is 182. The breed standard. Usually in Nigeria, that's the breed standard. So the aim for farmer is that once you get your birds, you must get a scale. If you don't have scale in farming, I'm very sorry for you. If you're a layer or umbrella farmer and you don't have scale, there is no difference between you and somebody that drives with his car with eye closed. There's no difference. I'm telling you. So you must get your scale. Go and buy. The moment you get a day-old chicks, weigh 100, only 100 or 1% randomly, and find the average weight and multiply times 4.5. That is the weight you're supposed to get after 1 week. If you don't do that, you are just driving with your eye closed. You can succeed, you can fall down. Next. And okay, go back. Sorry. Look at, if you now say 40, standard umbrella, 40 to 45. but this is 35, 38. We're supposed to sue them. But parents cannot sue them because they don't have strong member. That's the problem. Because if you now weigh 40, you say 40 times 4.5. That means 40 grams, you get, that's 180 grams at 17 weeks. If you're a smart farmer like that, my brother, if you're a smart farmer, if you get 190, that 10 grams is like 70 grams free as slaughter. If you now less than 1, if you're less than 10, it's like 70 grams minus as slaughter. Go back. Go back. Hello, go back. Go. No. Go forward. Look at 7 days weight. If you get extra 10 above the breed standard, it's like 50, 70 grams weight free for you. Free. Yes. Yes, free. These are smart farmers. The smart farmers we have. Next. Hey, after this slide, I think I finished my training. Look at this bird. This is research. It's not a textbook. In Nigeria, it's not a textbook. We're not coming to study. It's what we are getting. And I want you to pay special attention. I want you to pay special attention. Look at age in week. 1 kg, 2 kg, up to 8 kg, 8 weeks. These are expected weight. Yes? Well, this slide is a property of PAN. It's not my own. So what I used to do, and I don't have apologies, that anywhere I go for training, I give the slide to PAN. If you bring a seat, they give you. So up to them. It's up to you people. It's not property because, so when you say you're a member of PAN, they give you. If you're not a member, I don't have apologies. Abi, is it okay, sir? Okay. Body weight, standard, no British book. 185, 14. I think that my boy will get it like that. After 1 week, someone get 185, 460, 465, 943, and so on and so forth. Average weight gain. Broiler grow every day per week, 20.4 average every day. That's the average daily gain in broiler after 1 week. You have that one. You have to have scale. If you have scale, it's a problem. Then the second week, 41.3, and so forth. Feed consumption per week. Feed consumption per week. You have to weigh. Look at it. 167 grams. Look at the weight. 185. If your feed intake is higher than the weight, you are in lost. At any point in time, the weight of a broiler shall be higher than the feed they're taking. If you are not doing that one, you are not in the business. Second week, they will consume 275 grams. You can see 467. That broiler is how to be. And this is cumulative. 167. I think if you go stand off like a market, top feed, New Hope, all this, you see this diagram they will give you. If it's article, they give you this tag, you see the same thing with my own. This is field community feed take. By the time you have discovered that it's not, especially this one, but I want to watch at this one. If don't match, if the weight or if the gram is higher than the body weight, you are in lost. You have to investigate. You have to investigate what has gone wrong. Then CCR, FCR, 0.9, 1.1. So this is standard FCR. If you are getting one at after 1 week, you are in lost. Yes, very, very important. Very, very important. Next slide. Next. Hello. Hello. The what you call utilization of feed by broiler. After 1 week, the feed the broiler eat. After during that 1 week, for growth and 20% for maintenance. Second week, they use 70% of the feed for growth, 30% for maintenance. Look at after 6 weeks, as they're going down, as the broiler is growing, it's changing. If you are keeping broiler after 6 weeks, I don't know how they're making it. Are you getting utilization of feed? After 6 weeks, the feed they are giving broiler, they only use 30% for growth, 70% to maintain them to move about. So as a smart farmer, that first and 2 weeks, you maximize your broiler production. That 2 weeks, don't play with it. That's the critical point I put there. First 2 weeks, don't play with it. Because at that time, they use more of the feed to grow the maintenance. So maximize it. Just like in layer, those that eat layer business. If you look at Issa Brown, from 0 to 6 weeks, one Issa Brown will consume 1.1 kg of feed and they grow by 37%. From 6 weeks to 12 weeks, one Issa Brown will consume 3.2 kg of feed and they will grow by 47%. From 12 weeks to 20 weeks, one Issa Brown will consume 3.5 kg of feed and they grow by 19%. So a smart farmer will maximize the 0 to 12 weeks. They only consume if 1.1 plus 3.5, that is only how many? 4 point something. And they grow by 81%. But if you wait till 12 weeks, they will grow 3.5 and they grow by 19%. So it's a loss. The same thing in broiler. The same thing in broiler. So maximize that very week. First 2 weeks. Next. FCR, like I asked you, they know FCR. FCR broiler business. What is it? Feed efficiency or feed conversion ratio broiler business. That is the campax for you to succeed. That's a campax. Just like aeroplane, they're using radar to fly. You know, by the time you move the aeroplane now, there's what a gear. All they have it. That's what is directing them. The FCR is the one directing broiler business. And they all look against FCR by weighing. If you're not weighing broiler, it's a problem. And total quantity of feed consumed per, it's very simple. You don't need to go to new software to do it. Just total number of feed consumed per bird in kilogram over the mean body weight in gram. When you divide it, you give you very simple, this scale, 350 scale. This scale. Next. Feed conversion ration is a measurement of how well a flow converts feed into live weight and it provides an indicator of management performance and also profit at any given feed cost. As feed cost represents 67% of the total cost of broiler production, the efficient conversion of feed into live weight is essential for profitability. And small change in FCR at any given feed price can have substantial impact on the financial margin. Are you getting that point? Next. Then why shall you monitor feed intake? One, to keep track of a business. To reduce feed wastages. Following feed intake closely will reveal overfeeding or underfeeding. It also alerts you whether your broiler is converting or not, whether converting the feed to flesh. By that way, then it also reveals your management practice. If your management is good, the bird cannot make use of it. Next, look at this a farm in hello. Now I want to talk on the hatchery so that you understand. Look at this a farm. I don't know what they are here also in Atta. We collect 13,225. The number of mortality or arrival is 6. Average weight 45 grams. The following week, we collect 6,610. Number of mortality or arrival is 4. But look at it, average weight is 38. The same hatchery. The first week 45, the is 38. This one is a loss to the farmer. But they give us. It's a loss because that's 7 gram difference. But that's why, as a farmer, you need to weigh your birds. You need to weigh, and we have to come to pan. If we are coming for meeting, there are some people that can use to go and check your farm and send report, because nobody is checking them. It's even not hatchery, even drug, even supply. There's one of a farm that I'll consult for. They supply 3 trailers of soya. We checked the soya was bad. The man carried the soya and go and supply that farm. Because if you have strong member, or if all of us get and we have strong, that we could tell the man, they should go and sue, they should go and destroy the soya. But I don't have power on that one. So please, let's come to pan meeting. Next. Do you know what happened now? During incubation, don't have breeders, incubator. So I want to tell you so that we have to see how we can checkmate one part hatchery. This is egg or broiler. The standard egg for broiler is about 60 grams. Anything less than 60 grams, the egg for setting is no good. You know, when you're incubating broiler, those that are in hatcher, I'm not expert about, a little know about it. When you're putting the egg will feed on oxygen, and they release water, carbon dioxide, and heat. Look at these are the old chicks they produce now. Look at now, if you want this broiler now, if what is the old chicks, 38 plus 28, how many? 40 grams. Oh, my base is 40 grams. Good. The same chicken again, you weigh again, 32 plus 8 grams, 40. So sometimes weighing cannot even give you the correct value. That's why you need a professional on that. That's why they call us to go here and there to evaluate. And I have a good training in this, and I'll be training veterinarian so that I can help farmers. I think I've been to 14 states. Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, Delta, all the states I've been to. I've not been to. See, if they don't look for me, I don't go. I don't do seminar. All the things I'm doing, I don't organize it. Most of the seminar that I do for Farmer Forum is a product-based seminar. It's a product-based seminar. I don't do product-based seminar. I do technical seminar. So if you want to write it later before I go, if you don't invite me, I will not come. I don't do product-based seminar. I don't do that one at Adamo, Kepro. So you discover that, but I've been training veterinarian, and even during our conference, I've been training so like a health farmer. This one now, because in incubating, I think I have a slide, I'll slide this one. Because the total weight of the chicks, she will risk 70-90 grams. Okay, 10 minutes. Oh my God. Next, we never go to Coco. Next, because they say 10 minutes. I don't have time. Next, let's leave that one. Please, always weigh your chicks. From the 20 weeks, weigh in group. Find the average. But from 21 to 28, find the average, weigh individually. You weigh individually. Next. I've explained this one before. Next. So solving or preventing FCR in broiler in a flock requires both good management and good planning and good management. Anything that affects life weight, feed intake or feed waste will influence FCR. So always observe, investigate, identify, and act. I only have 10 minutes and I just enter my slide. So next, you just give me 10 minutes again. How do you solve FCR? How do you solve or prevent FCR problem in broiler? Delivery time is key. The time the birds come to your farm is very key. So delivery time, let the bird first come to your farm early in the morning. They are breeding essential, like quality of feed, the temperature, the water, the air, the light. They are very important. They want to influence the FCR. Then disease challenge and vaccination. But the beauty of all this one, 95% of these factors are within farmers' control. They are within our control. They are within our control. So let's work on that. Next. These are performance-related issues. If you have low body weight during brooding, then we look at the feeders, temperature, lighting, and health. If you are having reduced feed intake, this I think because there's no time, I will not have to explain. Maybe the power will give you a slide on that. But this is very key. Do what called checklist. So when you're doing broiler, you don't see it. You do checklist for that, so how to correct it. Next. Use your eyes. God give us 4 senses. Your eye, your nose, your ear. Always activate them when you're working in poultry business. And the scale. So some farm you go to, you see attendants are using earphone. They put earphone are working in a pen. That's not a farm. It's not a farm. Because when you're working in a farm, you have to activate your senses. And if you're also a farmer, the moment you enter a farm, manager will follow you. Stop it. As you enter farm, don't allow anybody to follow you. Go alone individually. After you've gone wrong, you can now, so that you can see things. By the time you're moving with your manager or a movie, it distracts you. In my farm, if I go farm, I don't greet anybody. I have to go around first before I talk to them. Nobody should follow me. To avoid professional blindness. Most of the MDs, they're excursion MD. Most of the managers, they're excursion managers, they're just moving around. Yes. So use your senses. Next. This one, no. The goal of brooding is to stimulate early feeding, accelerate growth, first week, flock uniformity. All this, because there's no time, I don't have time to explain. Next, because the important I want to explain. Next. In temperature, let me tell you that, I put the temperature essential. Temperature is very essential. Number one is most critical, day one. Don't play with it. Second week, critical. First day is most critical. First week, critical. Second week, less critical. When you're doing brooding, you must do night vigil. If you are raising broiler, you are not sleeping there, forget it. Forget about it. You cannot get what my brother is getting. You can never get it. Take it or leave it. And that's why the Lebanese ask them in Badr. If you have people are sleeping, they are working there. During rain, they don't go out. Those that are in Badr, when they're raising broiler, like globus or this thing, they attend, don't go out. Ask them. If you are brooding, you must stay there 24 hours. If you're the ogre, buy WhatsApp handset. There's no network. Buy handset with WhatsApp. Data, if you get glove 1,000, they cannot even fish in 2 weeks. You are on your bed, you woke up, you see video. Very important. I'll come to that. Next. No, the other one, sorry. Litter is very important. Gone are the day, you just go and pack litter and put, it will not work. In those days, you have dried wood. But today, the moisture content is so high. As they call the wood today, they can show me, I go and pack it. Planning, get your wood and dry it and keep it somewhere. It has tannin. Inside also, you have, the birds will have dye. Or the wet litter, before you know it, coccidiosis will come in. Coccidiosis is a man-made disease. If you have cocci on your farm, you don't cause it. And if the person has a way to talk to you, he can even sue you. Next, even the concrete floor, you have to measure it. That was what you call preheating. Before your birds will come, heat the floor and the litter. Heat. Because I'll come to that next, no time. Next, if the temperature is too high, well, they say my time is off. I don't know. Please, it's very important. People are coming all the way from east for this training. If the temperature is too high, you see dehydration, you see vent pest. Next, if the breeding temperature is too cold, they come together and use a feed to consume the heat. Next, suffocation. So at low temperature, it is better you use charcoal to heat the bird than to use feed. Do you know why? As temperature drop below comfort temperature, they just consume more feed to maintain body temperature stay comfortable. Your FCI will go high. Because that's why, like in the southwest, we have relative humidity. And relative humidity in southwest is from 1 to 5. And temperature also come down. So, and that's the time you are using charcoal or kerosene. The kerosene, by that time, kerosene will burn out. So in the night, they just consuming more food. Instead for them to grow, they use your feed to maintain themselves. That's why you need to be there always, first 1 week. Next, because of time, even oxygen. As the birds are eating more, they use oxygen. And if you are the one that is using brooder gas sometimes is very dangerous for brooding because the brooder gas consumes more oxygen. So if you don't have ventilation, the bird will mop of oxygen from the pen. Before you know, the bird will be weak as you're just going to oxygen, aerophilosazine. So you have to be very careful. but it is good. Are you getting the point? Sometimes as a veggie, because you see ascites. Ascites. Next, because of time, these are temperature we recommend. I think we'll give the slide later. Next, this is how you know whether they are okay. Next, liter is very important. I've explained that liter. So next, I've explained that liter. I've explained very liter. But like I said before, preheating, look at it here. If you are brooding, you are only looking at the temperature. Oh, it's 35. You are miss it. The temperature will be 35. That's why I say, like that, my brother now, you measure the flow is good, the liter is good. The function of the liter is to maintain the temperature of the bird. If your liter, the temperature is low, or the flow, hello, sir, you see maintain that, you see that 35 degrees centigrade, the body's, the bird is, the temperature is high. But if the liter is wet, or the flow, the temperature is maybe 30 and 24, the bird will get the heat and lose 3 feet. So your work is of no use and they will not grow. Are you getting that point? If the floor is wet, the bird, if you feel heat, but the bird will get the heat and lose through the feet. So make sure you preheat, make sure your litter is dry. Next, and sometimes if you want to know, as you are going around as a owner, just take 1 day-old chicks and put it here at the chicks or at the back of your neck. If it is cold, your flow is bad. If it is warm, your flow is okay. Very simple. Just take 1 day-old chicks, put the leg here or here. If it is too cold, something is wrong in your brooding. If it's warm, you are good to go. That's all. Ventilation is good. Well, let's go. See, ventilation and temperature go together. Don't compromise temperature for ventilation, no ventilation for temperature. 2 things you look at. Don't compromise temperature for ventilation, no ventilation for temperature. And that's how you always breathe your sack if it's too hot. If you're not comfortable like that, there are some farmers foolishly, they will rest from here, go up. It's wrong. If you want for ventilation now, you carry the sack from here, go up. It's not correct. It's from here, you go down. Are you getting the point? Because in brooder pen, in layer, in the poultry pen, the oxygens are here. The oxygens are here. The gases are up, like the charcoal you are using, the stuff, the product, and the shit also ammonia. They are gases, they are light. So they go up here. And that way in poultry pen, you even have to lift. If you now lift this one here, you carry this one, those one will come down and it will displace oxygen. So you're doing nonsense. So anytime you want to carry ventilation, is from up, you breathe down, not from here up. Next, look at here. Oxygen is here. Before you know it now, because they stay up, there's no place for them to go out, they come down and they carry the oxygen up. You see, the birds are weak like that. You see, the birds are weak. That's what happened on most farms, both layer and pullet. Next, light is good. Next, make sure there's brown light so that the birds can eat. This one we eat, this one will not eat. Brown light. Before I know this one will not grow. So make sure there's brown light all over. Next, water is in but see, some people are, this feed is not good. This feed is not good. In broiler, water drive feed intake. In broiler, water drive feed intake. If your water is not good, the bird will not eat. You now say the feed is not good. That's why intake of water in broiler will directly affect the amount of feed that the broiler consume. If your flock is drinking too much little water, if your flock is drinking too little water, then chances are that they are also eating too little feed and they will not grow and complain of feed. Next, leave that one. See also, those that are using nipple, we discover that there's a problem in that area also in broiler. There's what you call water utilization, water consumption, and water wastage. You have to know as a farmer, both layer and this thing. If you see that the water is flowing, you have coccidiosis, you are wasting money on drug. Even some layer, for example, you go to, you see some bird, water is, the bird is wet. Those farms, they be losing money. During Ramadan, if there's no feeder, the bird will eat more food to consume to stay stable. So you're losing money. So know that one. Next. This is very important. Even for a broiler, this is a broiler farm. In those that are using maybe in line nipple like this, even layers, it's a problem I encounter I'm solving. Hello? As the water is coming, maybe 18 degrees centigrade, it's flowing like this. By the time I reach here, 28 degrees centigrade. By the time I reach here, 34. Because as the water is moving in the pipeline, it's rotating. You know, it's moving in the pipeline. And it's rotating, the temperature is increasing. And bacteria like that, that's why bacteria multiply. So usually, infection is almost here in farmer, in broiler. So for those layers, if you're flushing your line and you're only flushing one side, you may just having sickness around here. So that you flush like this, you flush it back. And make sure your house is straight. Next. Feed, let me rush. 70%, you can see this is a drug, this is a feed. 70% to get this one is from the feed. Next. Therefore, right feed, make sure the feed is right quality, right time, and right place. Some people, you see 30% of the litter is feed. Next. Basic quality checks. Before you go and buy finished feed, before you open the feed, make sure you correct feed. I've seen some feed, they use broiler, crumble, they now go and buy starter. They don't know. Yes, I did some like that. I said, what I said, they don't know. So make sure you correct feed. Check the back tag before you buy. Don't rush, because business. Best before date, look at the date of manufacturing, so it's not expired. Is the bag dry? Ask yourself, look at it, don't rush. Can you feel any clumsy or lumps on the feed? Does the bag look dusty? If you don't buy. Next. Then, after opening the bag, after your sensor, does the feed look fresh? Open it. No mold, no flour mat, that is working dust inside, etc. Does the feed smell fresh? Broiler feed smell. Does it smell? Use your senses. Don't rush. No rancid or other strange smell because there is full fatty acid here. And it can go rancid. Maybe why they are storing feed. It's not even the feed, what they are producing, but what they are storing. That's why sometimes if you are buying feed, you have to check the store. If the store where they are storing feed, don't buy all. There are some stores that are selling no window, nothing. You see right, I still go and buy, you are bringing this to your farm. So even we farmer, we have to tell anybody that's selling finished feed, there's a standard you're supposed to maintain. We don't check. We don't check. These are things we need to correct. Then, if does the feed taste fresh? If you could answer yes to all of this, chicken will probably also say yes, please give me the feed. So next, broiler growth. These are the broiler growth. The first one week is the GIT, the growth schedule system and bone mineralization, 12 weeks. That's why if you are raising broiler from 12 weeks, don't use irofloxacin for brooding. Don't use irofloxacin antibiotic or Cipro. If not, you have leg problem. Don't use, please. From 0 to 14 weeks, that paralysis. So go. Because of time, go. I will finish it up. The weight of small intestine increases 600 times in the first 1 week. That's the broader GIT. It increases by 600 times in 1 week. So use quality feed. Move. Growth rate, there's protein phase, there's energy phase. Go. I saw one here. You know, I know of 3-phase feeding. Maybe we're going to discuss, I will go discuss. 3-phase feeding. I can see here now, I saw 2-phase feeding. We are going to discuss on that one in the panel. Let them explain to us. Next, because of time, next time. Yes, stimulate feeding. When you are feeding them, look at some farms. Look at how they're feeding. Look at it. You have some manager. You see the feed on the floor, and the bird cannot get away to. So stimulate feeding. Walk chicken for every 4 hours. Walk your broiler for every 4 hours as you put the feed. Refresh feed leaders 2 to 3 times per day. And the good news is that never allow the feeders to go dry. And the moment 2 hours after arrival of the chicks at your farm, do crop check. Next, I want to first see this broiler. Paper shall cover the breeding paper with newspaper, 90%. You put the feed on the newspaper. If you just put on the chicken drinker, it will not work. Put newspaper for 3 days. Put newspaper for 3 days. As put the birds so that will feeding. As the birds come down, they'll be eating. But if you put here, it will not get the weight. You cannot get the weight. We even have cheap paper we are selling. So cover your brooding paper with newspaper and put feed on newspaper. If the newspaper can get wet, change it to promote early feeding. Next. When chicks arrive on a farm, 4 things happen. 25% will be eating, 25% will be drinking, 25% will be resting, 25% will be playing. As a farmer, change the narrative. 75% will be eating and drinking, 25% will rest and play. And you can only achieve that with newspaper. Newspaper for the first 3 days. Don't use above 3 days, please. But we have, for broiler, we have chick pepper there. When you put it, the paper will differ, it goes like liter. You don't remove it. Next, you know the crop check. You make sure that the birds are filled with water after 2 hours. There's no time to explain this, so maybe next time we explain it. Next, because of our time, you fill a form like that. Crop check fill. No time. Next. Hello, look at this one. What do you see? What do you see? I'm going to let my brother talk now. They don't. As a farmer, look at the machine, not the birds. These are birds now. This one bigger than this one, Abi. This one bigger. I'm going to my topic. I'm coming because I have no time. Go back. Go up. Go up. Go. Look at I killed them. Look at this one. AB, look at them. Look at the intestine here. The bigger one, look at the intestine. Look at the smaller one. Look at this one will keep or remain smaller and smaller. So the best time is that you separate the young one aside. Feed them separate. Because you know why? I think next, I've done a research in broiler. I have the book. Even in layers. The smaller broiler, in general, they are slow eaters. And the heavy ones, they are faster eaters. It has been noticed with crumble feed that the smaller broiler eat for 30 minutes longer on the same feed, same amount of feed than the heavy bird. That means if the heavy bird, for example, is consuming 10 grams in 1 minute, the smaller one will consume that 10 grams in 30 minutes. So if you don't have their own time, they will go smaller and smaller. Go back small. Go back. Sorry, sir. If you go ahead. That's why you can see this is the intestine is the conversion machine. This is where the feed will convert to flesh. So this machine is bigger. This machine is small. So you have to change it by separating them and also in layers. That's why I say in layers. If you're a layer farmer, by 6 weeks, you must finish sorting. If you are sorting after 6 weeks, forget about it. You must sort before 6 weeks. That's why I'm telling farmer that bring your fowl pox to 6 weeks and look for command. Don't say fowl pox is very easy. Anybody can come and do. Go and look for veterinarian to do fowl pox for you. When you do fowl pox, he'll be removing even the wrong one aside. You still have 6 weeks to reach the 1 kg at 12 weeks. Are you getting? I cannot go to nutrition to come and formulate different feed for them. Thank you. Move. So please, farmer, identify broiler health problem. Limit farm blindness on your farm. Use your senses, the one I give you to operate. Do frequent inspection beside the usual tasks. Not that, the attendant, they don't go and feed and go and sit down. As you are feeding, you look at the birds. Look from flock to chicken. Look from flock to chicken. As you are moving, even there, as you are moving, you don't run. We have 6 pen automation on our farm. I cannot go around the farm in 2 days. You go You look for the floor, you look for the chicken, you look. If you're not just moving like that, you're just doing excursion. So next, look from the flock to chicken. Evaluate bird situation every day. Evaluate droppings. How are they every day? Our birds are alert and active every day and report. It will even make your consultant job easier. Next one. Look at broiler. Look at the broiler as we talk. 1957, look at the weight. 1970, look at the weight. 2000, look at the weight. Like the evolution, those on the genetics, they have worked on the broiler, whereby they grow very fast. But they could not work on the lungs, on the broiler, because the lung in the broiler end in overlap, so they cannot log. And that is why broiler usually comes down with CRD. That's why broiler is having CRD. The weight is too much on the lung. That's why they have CRD. And that's why we don't advise you mix broiler with layers, even though your layer will have CRD. So that's the reason that broiler is having CRD, because the weight is too much. They are not doing nothing on the lungs. So, and that's why, go next. You cannot use natural product like mental for other companies. They give you a broiler to relieve them, or the old multi-tallow dogs. The only product without GMP. Next. Please, can you play this video? Play this video. I want to finish now. Play this video. Look at it. This case is in Abeokuta town. I think the lady is. Look at it. See. Do you want the background? Can you hold the background? Can you play against her? They are attending little to music in a pen. There's music playing. Music playing massive. So what happened here now that it's okay. Hello, it's okay. It's okay. No, go up. There is lameness in broiler. It's very common. Lameness in broiler is very common. The lame paralysis is very common. Because broiler grow very fast. They grow very fast and they lack scientific support. If you look at here now, what do you talk about? See, you can see flow. You can see flow here. You can see flow here. You can see flow here. It's also a problem that can cause lameness in broiler. Now I pause that one. You see flow. The temperature will be low here. Everybody come and match here now will lose the heat down. And before you know it, there's infection on the, and there will see lameness. Are you getting it? So next go. This is a product good for intercalciferol. You'll be giving them to increase the bone. They're all over. Okay. Next. Liver is also a very good. Next. So my dear farmer, broiler business is not a rocket science. Pay attention to details. Make notes. Keep record. Collect information from experts. The birds talk to us. They talk to us. The birds in Abeokuta speak the same language of Akwa Ibom, Hausa, Ghana, Denmark. They speak same language. That is, chicken all over the world speak same language. A bird have coccidiosis here, red, the same thing here. The birds talk to us, but we don't see it. They talk to us. Even a lady that's not laying now. As you bow, say, I'm not laying you, remove it, I'm not laying, but you don't care because you are not paying attention. Yes. So don't put your flock on autopilot. Oh, last year, I do birds do like this. So why this one now? Things are changing. Look for expert. Keep an open mind. Birds are changing every year. What worked for you the last flock may not work for you this year. So always keep open mind in broiler business. Next. Thank you all. Dr. James Babawa Getty. These are my numbers, and they're all on WhatsApp. Sorry for the Roshi, but I think you can get the slide. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor, can you please have your seat so that you can rest? We should give him water. Ushers, please.
Please, let me explain what I forgot. Let me explain what
Okay.
Please, for those that use acidifier, because of acidifier now, you go and buy acidifier, you'll be easy. Please, for all information, if you don't have pH strip like this or digital, don't use acidifier. Please. If you don't have pH strip, yes, don't use it, or the digital, go and buy. Because if you use acidifier, because 90% of Nigerian farmers, they use it wrongly. And that one, I want to correct it. 90% of farmers in Nigeria, they are using acidifier wrongly. So the marketer, they are just selling the acidifier. They're only interested in selling the acidifier, but they don't tell you how to use it. Please, that dosage on it is not the right dosage on all acidifier, just a standard. Because the dosage depends on hard water or soft water. Your target of using acidifier is to get a pH 3.8 to 4. Because all the bacteria, they can survive at 4 pH. If you use an acidifier below 3.8, it will be too acidic for the birds. So that's why you need to go, when you mix a drug, you now put inside a door like that and look at, is it up to 3.5? That's the dosage you are going to use. So if you don't have this pH stripped, don't use it. There's also digital one. If you don't use it, I just want to correct that one. Thank you. No, acidifier, there's no problem with that one. It's in water. But acidifier in feed also, I would suggest you use coated acidifier, not just acidifier in feed. Because if you look at it, let's take either broiler now, so that you understand. It's my Ogao. It's a big farmer here. If you look at the birds, thank you. If you look at the birds, then you want to use acidifier, like a feed. If you look at the crop, that one is that crop. The pH there is 5.5. The feed spend 50 minutes there. After 15 minutes, the feed will move to proventriculus and gizzard. The pH of proventriculus is 3 to 3.5. The pH of gizzard is 2.5 to 3. And from the proventriculus to gizzard, feeds spend 70 minutes. Then it moves to the duodenum. Then there's lipase, because it's acid now. It neutralizes everything. In the duodenum, don't open the bath, it's loop where you have the pancreas. It's loop like this. Feed spend 8 minutes there. 8 minutes, only 5 to 8 minutes. Feed spend there. And that what God made in nature is loop, so that it increase the surface area. From now it will move to ileum and jejunum. That's why the feed stay for long. And that why the pH is very high. And that why bacteria are cooking. So if you use feed acidifier, it can only work in the upper GIT. It's only upper. Because the pH, even the crop, the proventriculus is even 3 or 2.5. So it's only work around crop. The feed. So that's why if you want to use this thing, go and look for coated butyric acid. Coated. That's the one that can go down even to the ileum. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please join me to give a very round of applause for Dr. James Babawageti. Thanks so much. So please sit in the center. Please sit in the center. Because of our time, I'll quickly call other members that will join Dr. Wageti to facilitate the next section. That will last just for about 30 minutes. We'll try and make it very fast. Please keep all your questions. We don't want to take questions now, but this next session will take a lot of questions. So what our advice will do is, let's jot down those questions and please let them see you. Give your questions to my colleague here, and so that we can collate them. I'm sure most of us are going to have similar questions. So we can merge them all into a few numbers, then our panelists will address all our questions. I'm going to say that also.
Sorry, sir. Please, I'm sure many of you are confused. Let me advise you free of charge. Take this man's phone number. Brother is not a day journey. So as you go, call Baba, you call him 12 midnight, he will answer you. The questions, Aha.
I don't have my phone.
Can you hear? Can you hear that? So just get his phone number. Just a plain advice. Thank you.
Another advice is that please just jot your questions down. Please.
Put the number.
Please, media, put the number back. Okay. Until we are ready just leave it there until we are ready for the next stage. So please visit our MPS site. It's just nigeriapoultryshow.com. Most of our presentations will be, placed on the website in a couple of, days. Maybe by Monday latest, we'll have it all uploaded there. So we do, I see us all jotting, but we can take a full, message again via our website. So just stay close to the website. Most of the events, most of the activities, that we have in the past 2 days, and this is the third day, with all of them will be uploaded. So you can take time. We can actually review with staff members in the farm, and we can take a full. Then again, just like advice, Adamo, Dr. Wageti, we can always call on them. They don't charge much if they charge at all. They've been to my farm severally. They've tested my water. They've done a lot of things. We don't pay them. The only way we can pay them is to patronize them. So let me call the panelists to please come join Doctor on the stage so that we can take all our questions as it relates to broiler production. We already have Dr. Wageti in front. Please let's have Dr. Dolapo Babagide from Big Dutchman to please come join the panelists. Dr. Babagide, please. Please, let's clap for them as they come to the front, please. Also, we should have Dr. Peter Akiola. Dr. Peter Akiola is from Animal Care Services Consult. We're having another doctor, so it's a very full house for doctors. We're having Dr. Aderemi Abraham from Amufam. Dr. Rebe, please. And finally, we have Mr. Emmanuel Azu from Bridwell Feeds Limited. Dr. Emmanuel, please. So we should, I hope we are writing those questions ready so that they can all address them. So all of them are practitioners in the industry, and I'm sure they are well set to take all our questions. So please don't direct all questions to Dr. Wageti alone. Any of them, let the man rest a bit, but you'll still come up, but let anybody take it. So while we write our questions, I have a few questions already penciled down here. So let me take the first one. This one will go, let me go in the sitting order. I'll jump you, come to, then Doctor will round it up. This question number one is for a true growth and competitiveness. Government continued protection of the local broiler producers cannot be sustainable. What should the industry practitioners be doing to reduce costs of producing broiler meat? To turn out products that will compete in pricing international. I guess that question is intended to look at what is happening with our borders, with the controls of importation of broilers, even though they still manage to sneak them in, but they are sneaking them in, they're not really having them in big numbers. Now that is to protect our local broiler producers. But we feel like it cannot be like that forever because we're in a global village. So then why is that still thriving in Nigeria today? We believe that it's because of the high cost of our own broilers. So then what can we do to produce at cost that our produce will be competitive with that of, produce coming from international world? Is everybody willing to take that, or should I just, you take that? All right,
All right, thank you very much. I want to, first of all, start by commending Dr. Wageti. I think I call him a PP. In the vet cycles, when they say PP, that's private practice. But, in this kind of setting, I think that he's a passionate speaker. He's a passionate presenter. And that's, if you're not careful, you feel like, why is this guy throwing stones at us? Why is he talking like this heavily? He's passionate. So thank you very much for that wonderful session. And I think that session actually answers the question. Dr. Wageti had talked extensively on two things, knowledge and quality. knowledge, he kept emphasizing that broiler farming at transition, that moved across. And you know, at a time like this, you can't downplay knowledge. You can't assume. If a farmer had told me before that I have been doing farming before you were born, I left the farm. The farm made massive loss. You know, broiler had gone, farming generally had gone beyond what we had before. The typical arboacre, for example, is no longer the typical arboacre of 10 years ago. You now have, we had plus before. We had plus now. So if you are still managing and you are still thinking, that's one, knowledge, you can't take it away. Then he had extensively talked on quality inputs. You can underline those two. He had talked on quality input, and it started from as basic as wood shavings to as much as feed, if you had followed through. So from my end, I think he had answered that. And you know, you see farmers thinking they can buy cheap products and have quality output. It doesn't work. You want to save 100 naira to lose 1,000 naira. So if I'm buying antibiotics, I must make sure I'm buying antibiotics. I'm a player in the industry. We know ourselves. So when you tell farmers, they think it's because you have interest. But you know, it's your well-being is my well-being. So we can't take away those two. If we want to lower our cost of production, please let's go for as much as possible knowledge and go for quality products. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Remy. So that more like says that we just should up our game so that we can produce maximally. Is that a simple summary of the solution? Okay, so, question 2 here says, what solution can be preferred to the very erratic price fluctuations in the prices of broiler DOC and even layer DOC? As it, particularly broilers anyway, as it has been established that this galloping price affects both the breeder farmer and hatcheries and also the commercial broiler farmers and processors. Now, how can we stabilize the galloping prices? I mean, it's too common in the broiler world. It could be 400 naira per chick this week, and next week can be 200 naira. I mean, that makes it a lot difficult for planning. Is there any solution to this major factor? Anybody can take that. All right. Just hold on to it. Okay.
Thank you very much. With the question, I give kudos to my Ogatu on seat. Challenges face the breeder farmers. You cannot just reduce the quantity of challenges they face in terms of giving you quality ticks. You know, let me pick it from there. For example, when you get your breeder bets, after raising, now you have 3 phases of challenges. Now, your production, your hatchability, all this will come on. And at the end of the day, you can imagine, I think about 2 months or 3 months back, the broiler market was a no for the breeder farmers. I can say they practically did not break even during that period because the input, the feed is not reducing. The hatchability, there's problem in it. The fertility is a problem, and the production in the farm. So what they now feel that they could come up with, okay, fine, I know there will be a peak season. Let's be able to make up for the losses we have. And I think, back to your question, sir. Now, the only way or the possible way I feel this can be resolved to a minimal level is trying to reduce the cost of the input in terms of raw materials. Okay, the vaccines, the feeds, soya, maize. Because this will all over go to the overhead cost of a breeder farm. And of course, is what he buys, he will sell. So it's a big challenge on the industry right now. And I feel the only way is to try and reduce the cost of raw materials.
Can any of us in this? Okay, our chairman of the planning committee chairman will want to have a say on this. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know that the hatchery man is not the best person to answer that question because he cannot be the judge in his own case. Okay, let the big doctor man make some contribution, then I will know whether to talk.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. Majority of times, like Doctor mentioned, most farmers are penny wise, pound foolish. A lot of things, a lot of cost of inputs is beyond the control of the farmer, both the breeder farmer and the commercial broiler farmer. But there are some things that are still within your control. The quality of your input, garbage in, garbage out. What you give your birds is what they will give back to you. Now, most farmers do this. You want to buy drugs, vaccines, feed additives. Somebody is telling you to buy a product. Because the product is 100 naira more expensive than another one, you are calculating that 100 naira, not knowing at the long run you are going to lose a lot. Now, somebody tells you, oh, buy this professional feed. It's maybe 200 naira more expensive than most others. You told him, 200 naira on each bag is a lot of money. But now, the one that is 200 naira less expensive would require you to raise your broilers for 8 weeks. And the one that is 200 naira more expensive, your broilers are ready in 35 days. So you are saving feed for a week. If you calculate the quantity of feed you have saved in a week, that alone covers that 200 naira. Now you are buying vaccines. I know some farmers that it got so bad that they were doing their Lasota every 3 weeks. Where you have some vaccines that can protect your birds from 6 to 8 weeks. For a layer farmer, if your vaccine can protect your birds for 2 months, you only need to do your Lasota 6 times in a year. Whereas somebody is doing 10 times in a year. So you are saving costs because you are using good quality products. Those are things that are within the control. Another thing is that the moment your farm gets to a particular stage, you need to start thinking about automation. Because automation will reduce your overhead costs. Imagine a farmer that has a pen of 20,000 birds. Then you have 6 attendants attending to 20,000 birds. This is not cost effective. By the time your farm gets to a particular stage of 10,000, 15,000, you need to think of how to automate your pen for good return on investment. A pen of 30,000 with the right automation, you only need a single attendant to manage it. You need machines can do every other thing. The only day you need other people or extra staff is the day you want to harvest. So if you put in the right input, on a long run, you are going to make a good return on investment. So let us not look at the cost in the immediate. Let us look at the cost we are going to save on the long run. That is one of the important ways to save costs.
Thank you. All right. Okay.
I just want to say something. Yes, he actually talked about what the farmer can do. Those things that are within the control of the farmer. But we're also aware that the cost of production, either for the commercial broiler producer or for the hatchery, feed is the main cost, about 70%. And the feed cost is being driven by 2 major raw materials, soya and maize. If you look at the countries where their broiler production is okay, very competitive, the price is okay, they also have government support. They have government support. Somebody told us during the opening ceremony, our production of soya in Nigeria is less than 1 million tons, the yield. Maize is about maybe about 12 million. So if you look at most of the major poultry producing countries in the world, they're also very good in crop production. If you look at Brazil, if you look at US, they are also very good in crop production. There is no way poultry would develop without a corresponding development of crop production. So government has to come in the area of training. How can we improve our yield per hectare? It is very, very important. Having about 4 tons per hectare, we are in some other countries, or 6 tons per hectare. We are in some countries, we are having about 12 tons per hectare of maize. The difference is there. So improvement on seedling, improvement in training, government has to support us. And then what has probably also impacted this in recent times is also the issue of security in the country. Farmers are no longer in the farm. You understand? So production has reduced. You can't even bring, if you bring in tea now, but somebody was telling us that even if you bring soya in, it might even be more expensive than local production because of cost of forex. So we need to see what can we do to produce some of these major raw materials locally. That is the only way poultry can also develop. We need to develop crop production. Thank you.
Please, Doctor, relax, sir. You go talk last. Sorry, let him talk, then chairman will come after.
Sorry, my organs are preferred long-term solutions. I just quickly want to chip in these. We are talking at DOC price, right? I think that's the question. Correct. That instability in DOC price and all that. What I tell farmers and what we do tell farmers is two things. Number one, planning. This hike in price and all that is because even those of us at the breeder hen, at the hatchery level, you have a lot of issues on your hand, like he said. And at a time like this, when, what dictates price is demand and supply. When everybody is coming to the market at the same time, and there's a limited quantity of product we're all jostling for, automatically the price will go up. The other thing will play out the other way around. I was working with a farmer recently, and what I advised him and what he's doing is planning. When we plan, there's some things we can't take away. The season. There are some seasons that we know everybody wants to go to the market. And the truth is that sincerely, many times it's not just these hatcheries alone sitting down and formulating some of these prices. We need to understand that. So let's plan very, very well on our own as farmers. Then number two, we've been emphasizing, and in the course of the presentation, Dr. Wageti was chipping that in. We can't take away the power of association. Yeah. Sincerely, it's not that I'm talking, we can't take away the power of association. When I'm going to market alone, it's different from when all of us like this, we are sounding with a voice. So when we put the two together, I think we can get some. Well, sincerely, when we say farmers, we breeder farmers are farmers too. So we won't want to kill our farmers. Are we going to be? We can't warehouse DOC. We can't store DOC. So it's a common. So when we talk together, we make quality voice out to whoever is going to be the regulator, whoever is up there that is going to listen to us, and it can go further like that. Planning, then when we talk together, when we come together as an association. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's have the chairman.
I just want to stand on this side so that I can see. Well, the hatcheryman have spoken, and what I want to say, if all the hatcheries will take this, I think in one of the seminars in Poultry of Nigeria, Ogun State, we have come to this junction. Some years back, we have held meeting with the hatchery operators, and we are planning another one when Mr. Laude was the chairperson, but he could not see the light of the day. You have said that purchase of DOC and the prices are determined by demand and supply, and that is free market economy. We cannot continue to allow that. Do you know that even some of the hatcheries will come and say, please, I have 30,000. Can you warehouse it for me? It is not good that you can sell all your chicks today. Tomorrow, you are begging farmers just to take your chicks, even at free of charge, or some that will go and feed it to their fish in the fish pond. It is not right. So the advice, and one of the things that we have advocated for, number one, is that let us study it. Reduce your markup. Let your markup be standardized. You are talking about regulation. We know that we're all buying feed, maize and soya from the same markets, so don't mark it up too much when there is high demand. Regulate it so that farmer will always buy all the time. So if you say because farmers are rushing, you double the price, then the farmers will run away and then you will sell at a loss at another time. So what we're advocating is that regulate your price. I sat with a particular hatchery operator who is my friend. I said, okay, let's calculate the cost of production. We calculated, was it 2 years ago or last year? It came to a particular amount. And we now saw that they are selling it almost double the price. So you are laughing to the bank now. At another time, you cry. So it's not supposed to be. And that's the same way what happened to eggs. He has talked about regulation. I think one of the things we're going to take away from here is to meet with hatchery operators. Let us form a common opinion or take a decision to regulate hatchery, even our prices. That is one. Secondly, the government, just like you said, also need to help us. And one of our communique, the Commissioner for Agriculture of Ogun State, has said, please come and see me urgently immediately you finish this program. We want to talk about the school feeding. We want to talk about what can government do. Some of the time, they don't know our challenges. The people that surround them will not tell them the truth. But thank God for the panelist session that we held, and they were able to hear a lot of things. And so they are calling us to come and make decisions. But to the hatcheries, please, let the price be regulated. Instead of the price going up, somebody still called me. In fact, it was on my neck. I said, I have not disinfected my farm. I have not cleared it. You say I should come and that you have 30,000 DO chicks. I have where I will put them, but I was not also ready. I have collected DO chicks from hatcheries free of charge before, just because they don't see where to sell it. But at another time, you'll be queuing up, and you buy it at cutthroat price. So let there be regulation. It will help you as a natural operator. And then farmers too, they will be able to plan. We can have 1 year, 2 year plan that the price of my DO chicks will be like this. Even if there is inflation, the markup will only be minimal. Not that I will buy it at twice the price. Thank you.
That's the chairman and planning committee of this event, and also the general secretary, Southwest, Pan Southwest. All right, I think that has been well traced. This one is Dr. Wageti, and you can also now add into the current discourse. You choose to, I think, let me read this other question also. Dr. Wageti said that start small when you're going into public business. Does this not beat the principle of economics of large scale production? How do we marry the two? Because when you start at a level that is not sizable enough, then you really may not run at a good profit. So how do we then combine those two principles? Start small, grow gently, or start at a reasonable size?
Well, like I've said in my presentation, poultry business is a biological industry. Okay. Poultry industry is a biological. It's not like cement business or plant business or it's only a car. It's a biological industry. And if you don't get it right, it will mess you up. So that's why I advise that you start small and grow with it. That's my own stand on that. And on issue of government, like my brother Kitolo have mentioned. Hello, one house, please. A farmer cannot do without government. And if you look at it now, there's AI. And farmers, they just quickly sell the fowl if they see mortality, because they know that they will not compensate them. So the only way out is for government to come in. But government cannot come in if you don't show yourself. That's the thing. If you don't show yourself, government cannot come in. So if you want government to come in, the farmers have to make noise. Look at this rice farmer. One there's a rice farmer in Nigeria, but they came together. Even during Buhari campaign, they donated millions to his campaign because the farmer came together and even raised money to donate his own campaign. That's a container. And because of that, when they start complaining they don't have market, government close the border. So if we farmers can come together, and if possible, massive, we can even sponsor some of our people to House of Rep, Senator, bring bills. That's the only way to go. But we cannot achieve that if we don't come together. Please let us attend meeting. And the funny enough, at the attending main pass meeting, if you look at the attendance, 100, 2,000, the people don't come for meeting. The baby farms, with apology, you can't see them in per meeting. How can we bring all of us together now? So that's the first thing we have to work on. From there now, government can now come in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The need for us to come together has been reiterated now and then. So I just want to appeal to all of us. I do not know how many of us here are full member of PAN in their respective states. So please, let's spread the good news. The more we are together, the better we all shall be. This other point, question from now, buy weight, not age. You said we should consider weight more than age. Let me read the question completely. Okay. Since we are particular of attaining certain weight per time, shouldn't we then say buy both weight and age? Meaning that if you now buy a 12-week-old, a 14-week-old bird as point of cage, and they sell it to you at the price of a 12-week-old, you think you are saving because the weight is there. But at that time, they didn't attain the right weight at the right time. So how do you then watch both?
Well, in every breed, there is breed standard. In every breed, Isa Brown, but let me talk on Isa Brown. The other one, I don't know much. But let me talk on Isa Brown. I emphasize on weight. If you want by point of lay, and the part of point of lay says 14 weeks, don't just depend on that 14. That's my point. Don't just say, okay, let me pay because it's 14 weeks. You now say, these birds, they are 14 weeks. What is the breed standard weight for 14 weeks? That you now go and check. And not only weight now, also uniformity, how to play in. And that's why if you are buying point of lay, I will advise that you have the negotiation from day one with the people who are selling point of lay. Not that point of lay ready, come and buy. Please, so that, because poultry business is capital intensive. And apart from capital intensive, it will keep on sipping your money. Because when you keep on feeding them, you medicate them. So that's why if you want to buy a point of lay, have an agreement with the person going to raise the point of lay. If possible, always go and check. Have an agreement. Come and be checking the maybe every 5 weeks. Come and be checking the weight. It's very important. Let me give you a story. That my brother died, Nana farm. I have a farmer in Kaduna, a woman. She wants to buy 15,000 point of lay from that farm. Said, can I go and buy? When I told her, I said, no, okay, she has to cancel the booking for that one. That she have to wait for the next batch. And she said she's ready for me to be coming every 3 weeks, come and check the batch. She paid my flight ticket and my hotel accommodation. So every 3 weeks, I'll be going to Kano from Lagos to go and check the birds and give her a report. And at the end of the day, those birds, because I'll keep on monitoring it, I'll tell the Baba, this is what I want, this is what I want. They have to follow it. And behold, those birds, they got 85% at 24 weeks. So at the end of the day, because nobody sold them, one bird lay 342 eggs per cycle. If you ask lay farmer now, how many birds lay per cycle? They don't know. They only daily production. Daily production don't work again for the production. It's how many one birds lay in the cycle. That's how we know whether we are making the business. In Nigeria today, based on climate, open house, no closed house, minimum birds, minimum 300 eggs per bird, minimum. That means one layer supposed to lay 10 crates, minimum 10 crates. That's 300 eggs. If you don't get 10 crates per one bird, it's a loss. That way, if you have point of lay 18 weeks, 19 weeks, and a bird died, I'm not looking at the one bird, I'm looking at 10 crates has gone. Yes. Yeah. Even though they found out my brother at the back. So please, these are things that is happening. And let me give you another story. I went for training in Abuja before the COVID. And the farmer, doctor, I'm getting 88% on my farm. I'm getting, I said, very, very good. But what I meant one person there on the farm, he said, you don't know, but he's getting 88. I said, let me go. Can I go and visit your farm? He said, okay. Luckily, the time I visited the farm, they sold 20,000 birds. I said, let me have your record, sir. Can I go around? I carried the record to my hotel in Kubwa. I work from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. Try to calculate how many one birds laid egg. At the end of the day, I found out that one bird laid 268 eggs per cycle. So if I now took the minimum 300, if the 300 minus 287, 32, one bird load 32 eggs. By the time you multiply that 20,000 birds, at the time we sold it was 17,500. By the time I multiply it and convert crate, times that I sold egg 950, he lost 17 million. What you call it? He didn't lost 17. Doctor, it's not possible. I said, see it now. Minimum is 300 crates. You are getting 268, multiply. But that is 17 million, 750,000 lost. But he was bragging, he's getting 88%. Are you getting the point? So I said, okay, please employ a vet or professional. He said, my birds are tired. How can I employ? Most of us, we just pick attendants, come and work. It will not work. If you employ attendants, you train them. If you employ attendants and they pick feed and pick egg and feed, that's the end. That is only secondary work in poultry business. The primary work is there, they're not doing it. We collect the birds. I employed HNG for him, and he said he must pay him 130,000. Yes, 130. And I trained the HND with the staff. He collect birds. I think it was IRT that supplied the birds. He supplied the birds. We do all day. I say, if you collect the old chicks, even broiler, collect a professional to come and do what you call assess the day old chicks. Even though you are just breeding them blindly, you have to do what you call chicken length, never scoring. I have trained vet on that. Chicken length, never scoring. Like I show you broiler now. That broiler 38 grams. Even after I do chicken length, I discover that broiler is even 32 weight. The remaining is the yolk is even not absorbed from the birds, from the hatchery. Maybe the time they are transported to incubate from 18 weeks, maybe if the relative humidity is high, carbon dioxide is high, temperature is high, the yolk will not be absorbed, just stay there and add to the weight. But that breed is a of lightis. So we have to check. I collect the old chicks, not quite long. I discovered that they brought older one and younger one together. I have to call them. So what I'm saying, those farm now, after we do that, I told the man that it's 17 million. Next time you're going to get money, how much are you going to give me? I swear to God, when we collect birds, by 22 weeks, those birds are on 83%. And those birds, I just sold them, because the 1st January 2020, he sold them, one bird laid 320 eggs. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Doctor. All right, because of our time, we have just about 10 more minutes to ramp up this session so that we can have the final, I think we have 2 more product presentations. I'm not sure, but I'm sure Top Feed is ready. So in another 10 to 12 minutes, we'll be having Top Feed do the presentation. So we have a couple of questions. I'll just take like 2 out of them. I'm trying to see how to take. Okay, let me take this. Method to discover quality DOC. The question is, how do we identify the quality of DOCs when we are buying? Doctor, not you. Okay.
The actually may not tell us. See, there is 5 ways to identify the old chicks from my own understanding. 1, weighing, number 1. Then visual scoring. Then yolk free body mass. Then chick length and navel scoring.
Doctor, sir, some of them will supply to us at the farm. If we weigh and we're not satisfied, can we return them to them?
Well, sometimes we need to see how we can tell them. By the time they know, the farmer know about it. Okay. I've told Mwe people, my son, why? You can cost 85,000 members. Call us, we come access the bus free, and we now write letter to them, and they cannot dispute it. You understand? But this one, they are so technical, and that's why we train veterinarian. You know, there's a visual scoring. You look at them, this and this. Even that sometimes you can, when you unbox your bags, you can put them on the back. If it takes more than 3 seconds for them to come back on the leg, that bag is weak. You look at also their here around the beak and the hoof here. If you see red at the beak and you see red around the hoof, that means the temperature was high in the incubator. That means they're weak. Those birds, don't give them antibiotics. The more you give them antibiotics, the more they will die. So you need to hydrate them. Abisa? Okay. Then the one called naval scoring, though it's technical, you bring, you know, there is vent, there is navel. The navel is below the vent. You cannot see it because feathers cover it. But you put your hand in water and then rub there, it will not remove the feather. If you see black spots, there's a problem.
I want to add just two things. You know, there are arteries and there are arteries. That's the truth. Like Dr. Wageti is talking passionately, there's no perfect artery globally, but there are sources you can trust. And there's a common saying that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. There are sources that you can trust. And I'm underlining again, there are several arteries. There are specialists that will know that these ones are known as core arteries, and they have specialists. They have qualified practitioners. Ultimately, what they will churn out will be very good. Will be things, will be products you can trust. And they are so, just like we have among us as farmers too, they are flashers farmers that they just drop in. Oh, I heard there is money in poultry, they're rushing. And okay, you are the one that said they rush out. But the same thing, there are arteries that you just suddenly see them coming from the moon. And like you said, that can happen to them. But there are sources, there are brands that you know that have stayed for years, that have stayed for decades. Thank you very much.
Generally, doctor has addressed the question, but just to cap it up as a kind of summary, there's something they call PASGA scoring. PASGAR. PASGA scoring. That is one of the ways in which you can assess the quality of your DOG. But for you to know this thing effectively or do it effectively, you need a veterinary doctor to consult for your farm. This is the reason why it is important that you partner with the vet. Exactly. So this is somebody that can intercede on your behalf, check the quality of the DO chicks on your behalf so that you can give feedback to the archery. If a DO chick producer knows that you know what you are doing, they will not give you bad quality DO chicks. So it is important that you partner with the right professionals so that you can get the best quality DO chicks.
Thank you. Okay. Somebody wants the full meaning of that PASGA stuff.
Is the name of a person. PASGA, PASGAR, PASGA scoring. You can check it online.
Okay. Please hold on to it. Okay, next question here. Though I'll just to add to what is just been said, anyway, before the question.
Okay.
Recently, I visited some steel company. I wanted to buy steel. And the time I mentioned, oh, I have my caliper to measure the gauge. Because if you notice, if you go to the market now in Nigeria now, what you want to buy a 2 mm plate, they will give you like a 1.5. And they'll tell you that's what is now 2 mm plates. And if you're a constructor or any person, if you go ahead and use a 1.5 to do the work of a 2 mm plate, you may have your hand burnt. So they'll tell you, and for pipe, galvanized pipe, or everything in the country seems to have been watered down. So, but the moment you mention, they know that you know what you're talking about. So when I talk about the gauge measurement, you now say, okay, you can, this one is this other price. So they can know from what he said, we must have professionals work for us. Yeah. I mean, when you pay peanuts for staff, you get monkeys for, I mean, for peanut for salary, you get monkey for staff. So when we use the service of those that know, I'm an accountant, but I'm doing poultry. That means I have to leverage on Dr. Wajetti's and all of them I call. Usually you don't get to pay. It's just goodwill kind of sometimes, but sometimes you have to pay. Sometimes you have to sign probably a relationship agreement with them. You will visit their labs. We save a lot of money if we do so. Next question here is, and the last question also. Yeah, do brooding in cages for broilers, is it a good practice? That's the question.
Okay. I'm going to approach this question.
We have one more question on Zoom.
Okay. Then I'm going to approach this question from the professional point of view. Typically, except maybe recently, Nigerians don't eat small broilers. In Western world, they can effectively raise broilers in cage because by the time the broiler is 1.6 kg, they are ready for slaughter. So that when they process it, they get 1.4 kg. The typical European is fine with that. But Nigerians, we eat our broilers 2 kilograms upwards. Now, even if you manage to put such broiler in a cage, which is possible, you will have to reduce the stocking density of that cage. Now, which means that means you are stocking less number of beds per space. If you calculate the amount of money you spent on that cage, putting broilers in the cage is not cost effective. Now, because of the weight of the broilers we consume in Nigeria, because most people will tell you, oh, I'm going to slaughter this broiler 2 kg, 2.2 kg, and then leave the broiler till 2.5 kg. Because they are standing on a surface that is not balanced and their weight is also impeding on it, most of the times they have problems with their leg. Because of this, typically, Big Dutchman does not advise to stock broilers in cage. If you are going to raise big beds, but if you are sure that you are going to sell your beds at a minimal weight, then it's fine. But because we know most farmers, for example, you have an off-taker that will come and take your broilers at maybe 2 kg. Sometimes they will delay. Because of that, your beds will become overweight and then they start having leg problem. So typically, we do not advise that in our environment. Another challenge with raising broilers in cage, broilers, because of their weight, they require a lot of ventilation. If you stock too many broilers in a small space, you have to provide fan, you have to provide cooling. So if you are going to do this, better do it in a closed house. If you are doing this in an open house, ventilation becomes a problem because ammonia build up, heat, the amount of heat they generate from their body because of their size. So most of the times, if you check such farms, you see the birds always panting. And when broilers are panting, they will lose moisture, they will lose minerals, they lose so many things, and then they might not even attain the weight, or they might stay longer than necessary. This is the reason why typically we do not advise raising broilers in cage, except if you can mitigate all these things. Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, we'll take just one question from those online. Ideal stocking density for broiler in an environmental control system, considering that Nigeria is tropical region. So what's the ideal stocking density?
Okay. I don't know about other companies, but I know about Big Dutchman, which is leading in terms of, okay. For open house, Big Dutchman does not advise that you stock more than 12.5 beds per square meter. Open house. 10 beds per square meter, 12 beds per square meter is fine for open houses. For closed houses, for tropical environments, we don't advise that you stock more than 18 beds per square meter for closed house. And the reason why you can even stock as much as that is because you are providing cooling, you are providing ventilation, which you can control and manage. Some people push it, but that will be the limit for tropical environments.
Thank you.
To add to it, the commonest set of breeds that we have around is often stated in their guides: Ross, 308, Cobb, 300 or 500 or thereabouts, Abueka. Often, to be on the safer side, is good we stick to 10 per meter square. Is good. We are in the tropics. There are a lot of issues with weather that we cannot control. So once we have that benchmark, it saves bordering the head of our farm staffs and all that, and all switching up and down. It's advisable Thank you.
All right. Now, finally, I will allow each of our panelists to just give us their parting shots in a minute. But Dr. Wajede has a question for the archery, then you now take your 1 minute also.
Well, I've been receiving questions from broiler farmers for past 3 weeks. You know, there's protein phase feeding and energy phase feeding. And I've been asked, which is best? Is it 3-phase feeding or 2-phase feeding? I know, yes, I know top, top. You 3-phase feeding, top. New Hope, 3, New Hope 3, and others. I know I'm market 2-phase feeding. They just introduced. So far, they ask question of I'm receiving on my mail WhatsApp. So I want them, what's the advantage of the 2-phase feeding to farmer and the 3-phase feeding?
Can that be answered from the floor also, or it has to be here?
Anyone that are produced top, New Hope, and market that please help us on that. I'll be receiving series of questions. Yes, 2-phase feeding, 3-phase feeding for effective growth rate.
Well, thank you, Dr. Wageti. Well, animal care we just introduced into the market, like you said, like you likely said, 2-phase feeding. We just introduced Nutria into the market. And you start with starter and you finish up with finisher. During the presentation of Dr. Wageti, he made mention of something which he referred to as the engine room of the bird, and that is the intestine. So we have leveraged on the intestine to come up with the 2-phase feeding, because the intestine is the engine room of the broiler. There's an area of broiler of vet medicine now, which in the last few years, you know, it's been developed. People talk about it, and that's referred to as intestinal health. The health of the intestine is very, very important. And that's what we are leveraging in coming up with the Nutria 2-phase feeding. You start the 2-phase feeding with the super starter for 3 weeks and finish up with the finisher pellets for 2 weeks. Day 1 to day 21, that's the starter. And then for day 22 to slaughter, that is the finisher. The technology we leverage around is based on the intestine. And that is why you can come up with a 2-phase feeding and still come up with a very good FCR at the end of 5 weeks. Thank you.
So, are you answering the question or another one? The same question. Please come on. You can't get there. You have to come to the front.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
I am a farmer and also a vet doctor.
Yes.
And I've used both the 3-phase and the 2-phase. And I can tell you for sure that both works. But in the last few years, having done over 1 million beds, 2-phase has proven to have worked over and over again. And the reason is this. In my own practice, what I do is this: for every feed that will be used, I do proximate analysis. And I've seen over time that the problem is not the type of phase you use, it is the quality of feed in the market. And that is the challenge. If you have a good starter, you can run it for 21 days. And from 21 days, by the time your beds are 1 kg, you put them in finisher. But you find out that many times, the proximate analysis or the nutritional content of this feed, you have to start moving from one stage to the other. But in a climate where everything works and the feed millers are giving value, I can tell you, you are not going to have any problem.
Thanks so much. So please, let's marry. So we'll take your parting shot, 1 minute.
Okay. Based on what he has said, and I just want to put in 1 or 2 things. Apart from the fact of 2-phase feeding, 3-phase feeding, another challenge we do have is our management practice. And that is why for Breedwell, it is 3-phase feeding. Because the nutrition level for the first 7 days is very high. You need your birds to go the weights to be able to manage it, the heat and every other. So you know that the protein content in the feed and the energy too is very high. Then at the level of the second phase, you have to maintain the bones of the birds so that to carry the weight into the third phase. Because definitely the finisher is what will give you your weight. So, and that is why for breedwell, we go through that phase and to have the quality and texture of good meat. Thank you.
Let him ask, Dr.
Okay, on the parting shots, like what everybody has said, there are things that we can control as farmers. We might not be able to control the cost of feed, but what we can control on our farms, let us do it. Let us do the proper thing in terms of management, in terms of getting the services of the right people, so that at the end of the day, we are going to come out better. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just to add to what Doctor said, I think the poultry industry is becoming very innovative. Nigerian farmers need to stop thinking like farmers and start thinking like businessmen. You need to embrace innovation to save costs, to optimize automation. The moment your farm is growing, start thinking about automation, start thinking about solar. The world is moving towards a more greener farming system. And if you invest in this, I can tell you that many farmers that have done that are getting very good return on investment. So this is the time for us to begin to act. Let's not continue to do farming like we used to do it in the olden days, because the animals that we are stocking at the moment are very, very good breeds. They are sprinting to production, and then we also need to catch up with them so that we can get the best from the animals we are stocking now.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Remy, then Dr. Ayew, close.
Thank you so much for the opportunity once again. I'm going to leave with this. Dr. Wageti said poultry is biological science, right? All right, biology industry, biological industry. I'm not going to leave it at that. And it's an economist too. There's a business part of poultry. Farmers, I want us to be like bird that flies with two wings. As I'm flying with the science, going all out to get the scientific knowledge. Please don't jettison the economical, the business part of it. And that's why I will always underline anytime quality. Quality in your inputs. That's the seed from the DOC, medication, and all that. Don't let us be too price sensitive. 10 naira that will cost us 100 naira. Let's watch it. Knowledge and quality. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Doctor will now cap it up.
Well, great farmers.
Great nation.
I want to cap my submission on how we can come together. That's the basis for the industry. And why I say so, thank God I have the opportunity to move around the country, Nigeria and all over the world. And in Nigeria, we have problem of not coming together. Let me give you an example. Sudan is the poorest country in Africa. Sudan is the poorest country in Africa. And the reason is that Bin Laden hide there. And when America discovered it, they put sanction on Sudan. Sudan you cannot withdraw dollar in Sudan. Even the importer there, they cannot transform out supplier. It's the poorest country. But if you go to Sudan, even 30,000 layer bars is using automation and they don't have light. Somebody with 30,000, I saw it, maybe I visited the farmer. They are using automation. At 22 weeks, they are getting 92%, which efficiency is high. But here in Nigeria, if you see a farmer that have 10,000 birds, 5 years still 10,000, if not less than that. Yes, if you look at, I've done research, the elders like Olobosco, Meat Agri, those that can be, if you look at the history, they started with 3,000, 300, 500, and they are growing. If you see a farmer now with 10,000, he already has entered the business, he cannot leave. But if we are together, we are coming together, we can achieve. And what is lacking is the marketing. That's what they're doing there. What they're doing is marketing. They talk to farmer about the value of the egg. So the price of the egg is so high. To automation. Our neighbor here, Ghana, they just have poultry business. As we are celebrating World Egg Day, egg secretariat, they even send me invitation. What they are after is how to campaign for egg. It is not the farmer that can do marketing of egg. Let's get it right. Farmer don't have time for that. Today, I could not sleep. I was looking for maize, soya, rice brown. My maize is from Kano, soya from Kano, rice brown from Niger. This is another problem. You now talk of the machine on the farm, the staff, so you don't have time for marketing. But if we are together, we can now work towards that, like what Ghana is doing now. How they can increase their consumption in Ghana now. That World Egg Day is the opening campaign office, how to increase egg consumption. And I will advise the pan, one, they are the only ones sponsoring with their pocket. Let them centralize some department, some committee. Like I talked to PAN, National Egg Coordination Committee, with the sole aim of campaigning for egg throughout the year, not only wait for October. We have the one for broiler. Let's be campaigning. Let's look at Mexico, 350 eggs per year. Nigeria, 60 or 70. China, India, it's even worse before because they don't eat meat. So they now join egg also they don't eat before. So the farmer were into problem. Those farmers they just fold you up price. But the farmer come together. They are the largest farmer association in the world, India. They are promoted. They now form a committee. The parents they were like farmer, but they form a committee, a vet doctor, and malnutrition. They be marketing. If it's zero, you see them eating egg. Before you know, the egg consumption is rising every day. Once the price of egg is going up, broiler is going up, the price automatically go up. We can only achieve that if we come together. If we don't work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, panelists. It's been a wonderful one. Please just let me appreciate them by a very good round of applause. Thank you. As they take their exits. All right, we'll quickly be having the presentation by nutritionist from Thought Feed, Dr. Wale Adegbaju. So please, doctor, please quick come in for your what? You can leave it. And also, I've been told to encourage us to please join our respective PAN association in our states. For instance, in Panog, just go to our website, click on the link. Somebody will contact you. Feel so states Panog or PAN to have their websites. So please just look into those sites, make some calls, and let's come together.
Great farmer, I'm happy to be here. As my colleague has been discussing for some time now, I also want to say, I say it here, maybe 2019. The science that is poultry business now is science. The time has gone when, during the opening ceremony, there was a presentation on that is evolution, and we were shown all those pictures. Do you know, and most of the farmers that I've met during training, I used to tell them that when I was younger than this, we want to watch football. We move out and start turning the antenna. We say, Sotiso, Totiyo, Totiyo, Otito, Otito. But now, my antenna is in my room, even with me. Do you know that most farmers, they are still in that era? Yes, turning the antenna. There was a farmer that came to one vet outlet. Said, Oga, I have problem. Hey, my bed. We have been raising 4 weeks old before, but we start now with day old chicks. I said, how do you start? He said, we put light. Which kind of, because you have to ask these farmers, which kind of light? It's a fluorescent. They can see and eat. I said, anything to warm them? The man said, is there anything like that? I said, so when you give birth to a baby, slide, media. Hello? Okay. When you give birth to a baby, do you know that our mother, they used to mop with water, hot water? They say, yes. I said, I wonder. Me as an animal scientist now, I cannot just put on a coat for lawyer coat and say I want to defend myself in the court. Abi? But most of us, we are not professional, and we don't even care to employ professional, and we are looking for result. The result will not come. So we need to operate this business as it's supposed to be. So I'm from Premier Feed Mill. I'm here to present our product. You already know our product, but if you look up now, you will is in another form. So we have evolution in we don't stay in one side and think we will move, because the bed, the type of bed we are keeping now, they too, they are not like the bed we have 5-10 years ago. So, and they are expected to be given their requirements. So with Premier Feed Mill, we deal with innovation. As Dr. Wagesi was saying the other time, it's not only figure, hey, I'm having 70%, or what is the crude protein? That is most farmers. They run to the lab. And what's the crude protein? If I mix, I can mix for you and you get 23% crude protein. What percentage of that 23% is available to your what? To your bed. But many people don't know that. What's the bioavailability? What's the percentage of the nutrient? That is what we are after at a Premier Feed Mill. The bioavailability, going to the lab and get crude protein doesn't mean anything. It's an entry point. Yes, you have your crude protein to be what? To be 20%. And many farmers are satisfied with that. No. The amino acid there, how available are they for the growth of the bed or for the performance? They don't know. So the era of looking at figure has gone. And that's the reason why that's what we concentrate in. We concentrate on bioavailability of the nutrient for the performance of our bed. Next slide. We are subsidiary of Flour Mill, as everybody knows. That's our father, our mother company. Since that has been in existence from 1960. Next slide. So our main target is advanced technology, innovation, and quality we are able to achieve what we are achieving now with advanced technology, innovation, and quality control. And we have our target to be range of livestock that you can think of. We have feed for turkey, we have a rabbit, we have a pig, we have a goat, cattle, and for poultry. Next slide. We also provide technology, the application, support, technical support to farmers. Many of us can testify to that. We visit farms to train our farm attendants because we know that we, big people here, we are not our poultry attendants. They are the manager, they are the one managing the birds in the pen. So we try to move around. In the range of our products, we have feed for, as I've said before, range of, talk of any livestock, we have feed for them. Then let's look at the pullet lamb. We have a chicks for the starting, which require average of 1.1 kg. For the chick starter, we have it in mash as well as in crumb form. Some people say, will ask me, why is it in mash? What's the benefit of the crumbs? The crumbs save your wastages because many of our farms, if you go there, you discover that many of them, there's a lot of wastages that we have there. So if it is in crumbs, drop on the floor, your chicks can still pick it. But some farmers still insist with mash. With mash, you can get your results, provided you can manage your feed efficiently, well, feed management. Then we have grower. For the growing phase, average of, let me say, from 6 weeks old upward. Hello, move forward, please. Next. Okay. So for our chicks, doctor was saying something about record and the pattern, the faces of birds. Many of us, many of the farms that we visit, many people don't even have record. They don't know, they don't have targets. They don't know what they are expected to have. I visited a farm with 12 weeks old bird, and the weight was average of 880 grams. Yes, yes. Even a very big farm in, I think it's Port Harcourt. Very, very big farm. The farmer now told me that they have scratch. And they said they want egg fast. So they went for point of lay. So 12 weeks is point of lay. You can see what I'm saying now. That people just jump into the business without the knowledge. How can you call 12 weeks? Then they will say it's point of cage, point of lay. So, and if the farmer don't know what he's doing, or maybe you don't have the technical know-how, that person will fall victim. So average of 12 weeks old bird should be average of, should be around 1 kg, 1.1. So our grower will be for average of from 6 weeks old to an average of 16 weeks. And to 16 weeks, you move to pre-lay. We have pre-lay mash and crumbs. And pre-lay mash and crumb, we just go for average of 1 kg. So looking at your pullet, I mean the chicks, I think we have discussed it, but I want us to look at this. From 0 to 3 weeks, your birds supposed to should fall within 200 to 221 grams. 6 weeks should be between 450 510 grams. And the feed intake from that whatever from day 1 to that 6 weeks should be average of 1.1 kg. Then 4 to 8 weeks, you should expect your bird to have weighed 685 grams to 700 grams. But when you visit some farms, at 4 to 8 weeks, you are still seeing 480 grams, which is totally off the road. The next slide. So this is a ground mass. As I've said the other time, that your bird should have weighed 1.2, average of 1.2, between 9 and 15. But most of us, because at that phase, we are not getting egg. So many of us think we can go anywhere. If you don't build your house, if you don't have a very sound foundation, at the end of the day, the house may collapse. The next slide. So we have prelay. Prelay should be fed between 16 to 18 weeks. As at that 16 to 18 weeks, the average weight of your bird should be will be something like 1.5. But we have, yes, for 1.5 kg. But we have visited most farms at even 18 weeks, you have 850 grams. Then what are you expecting? So there is no type of feed you will give to that bird that will give you your feed, your egg as at when due. The next slide. So you also have, for our layer line, we have layer mash and we have layer crumbs. Our layer line that we call layer phase 2, layer phase 1, should be fed between that 19 to 14 weeks old of age. After that age, the ability of your bird to mobilize calcium and phosphorus for egg production will have been weakened. So in that case, we also have layer phase 2. Though most of our farmers, they still do better. You know, I said our target is bioavailability. But our schedule, that is our plan, is we have layer phase 1, we have layer phase 2. We also have layer wise. Next slide. So this is the layer phase 2 from 40 weeks old upward. And the expected average feed intake should be within 105 and 112 grams. I was discussing with one farmer that if you are given 112 grams, the technology is like you are on the fence. I want to tell you why, how you have to be conscious in your feeding. It's like somebody sitting on the fence to get excellent result. But any drop, maybe as a result of wastages, you see yourself on the floor. And that's the reason why you take your business, you take your poultry management as a business, as well as a science. Because we have visited so many farms that they have a lot of, there was a farm in Ogun State here that we discovered average of 750 or so, 750,000 naira every month. That is what the farmer is wasting on feed. When I was in Kano, we discover some farm that lost an average of 870,000 naira every month. So as a farmer using top feed, you have to be accurate so that you can get best of the quality as well as the cost that you are putting in. Next slide. So we have layer wise for those birds that you are about to dispose. Instead of you to be looking for any feed that is anyhow, this will still maintain your percentage as at that time. You know, you are to sell maybe about 2 or let me say 1 month to that time. If you request for layer wise, if you are on 60, maybe at 90 or 100 weeks old or more than, if you are on 60, then with that layer wise, you still maintain that until when you dispose your bird. Next. This is an average of 42 kg. From 0 to 18, you require average of 7 kg. From 44 to 72 weeks old, you require an average of 23 kg per bed. And from 19 to this, you have this. Next. Then for the broiler line, we also, as the discussant has discussed the other time, we have 3-phase feeding. And the reason why we have 3-phase feeding, we have 2 reasons. 1, as a result of economy, then the 2, the nutritional requirements of birds, mostly the broiler, as they grow, they have stages of growth. At the initial level, they require high level of nutrients, like protein. They need to grow faster, that is from day old to something like a 7 day. They're supposed to have achieved an average of 180, 185 grams. So that's the target. Then moving from that, we have a super starter for that. That will be, next slide, please. The super starter, the requirement is average of 500 to 600 grams with no wastages. And with stock feed, we expect you to have a better uniformity with good management. Then 2, next slide. Then the broiler starter, at this phase, they require an average of 1.3 to 1.5 grams. kg. The first one is 500 grams to 600 grams. Then the next one is average of 1.3 to 1.5 kg. And the aim is to provide nutrients available for body conformation and weight gain at this phase, and to support flock uniformity, immunity and very sound health. Next slide. This is the finisher phase that require an average of 1.5. So in this space, I want to let you know, because I'm here to present the product, I want you to know that in top feed, we have 2 types of feed. The first one is in this the super starter, or let me say in the broiler line, we have professional line, then we have commercial line. Because I can see many farmers, they say, this feed is better than this. We don't compare apple with orange. We don't compare apple. They say, this apple is not as orange. No. It's only that our pro line then was not it's not commercialized. It's not on the shelf. So what you see on the shelf is the commercial brand. We have professional line that we now call Broiler Plus. And that's the picture you see at the beginning of the presentation. So don't let us mix the two together. With our pro line, you have an average of 2 kg in 35 weeks. 35 days. But our commercial line, you have what? You have your 2 kg at 6 weeks. But we some farmer we say, hey, we tough it. At least in 35 weeks, 35 days, we achieve 2 kg. What is the percentage of those birds that weigh 2 kg? It's not that you cannot get 2 kg, but we cannot come here and start telling you fake on her. So it is targeted for 42 days. That's the commercial. But the pro line is 35 days. Next slide. We also have a concentrate for farmers that have abundance of maize, or you have a source of maize. So this one is just add what? Add maize. We call it add maize. So we have your 600 kg of maize, of maize with 400 kg of our concentrate. You have a better result. Then we have for layer 2, we have 30% concentrate. Concentrate. We have 30% concentrate. Next, and the mixing ratio. Okay, the mixing ratio is 600, like I've said before, for the 40%. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So we also have a fish feed. We have 2 mm, that is sigma 2 mm, sigma 3 mm, sigma 4.5, 6 mm. We have sigma 9 mm. We also have a student omega 2 4.5. That is our economy brand. Then we have omega 6 mm and 9 mm omega. Next. So the feed is designed to meet the requirement of your catfish, and at the end of the day, you get a very excellent result. Next. Then the feeding program for our catfish. If you are starting with our 2 mm, we expect you to start with an average of 14, let me say 15 gram. 15 gram. So between 15 gram to 50 gram, we eat our 2 mm. And in that phase, you need just 2 bags. Then you move to 3 mm for fish that weigh average of 50 gram to 150 gram. Then you move, that is for 4 weeks. Then you move to 4.5 for your fish that weigh. You see, you don't just say, they are 2 weeks. Let me start. No. You must look at their average weight before you introduce the fish feed to them. Then when your fish now weigh an average of 500 gram to 800 gram, so you use our 6 mm, and our 6 mm also for 4 weeks. And that doesn't mean that does not say that 4 weeks when your fish weigh 800 gram, you need to move to 9 mm until when you now get to 1.5 for 4 weeks. Next slide. So this is a brief analysis that we do now, because some people will go to the market, I want to buy fish feed, 2 mm. How much is it? Say 700. 7,000. No. We want you to realize that at the 2 mm level, if you use our premium, you need just 3% of 66, or let me say 67 bags. 67 bags, that's 15 times the number of feed. That is the 67 bag, 15 times 67. That will give you the kg that you need. So the 3% of that 67 bag, you need it for just the 2 mm. For 3 mm, you need also 3%. Then you need 27% of the feed you need to raise 1,000 fish. Then you need 33% for 6 mm and for what? For the 9 mm. If you now introduce 6 omega, so you will see that you need 3% of your 2 mm, you need 2% of your 2 mm, 29% of 4.5, that's 6% of your omega 6, and 30% of your omega 6, omega 9. Now let's look at the cost now. Next slide. Now, the total cost that you will need to raise 1,000 fish, let's say average of 520 something thousand to raise in terms of feeding. The feed that you need that you require presently now, you need average of 520 something thousand. So out of that 520 something thousand or 30,000, you will need just 3% of that 500 something thousand for the 2 mm. Then for 3 mm, you need 9% of that 500 something thousand to raise 1,000 fish using our feed. Then you need 27% of that your 500 and something thousand that you have prepared, that you have budgeted for what? For the feeding for hours 4.5. Then 6 mm, you need 31%, and you need 30% of that money. So if you now decide to say, okay, along the line, I want to use omega, which is our economic type. So with that average of 500 and something thousand, you need 4% of 2 mm, 10% 3 mm, 29% 4.5, 27% 6 mm, and you need 28% of the cost, of the total cost. Next slide. So what do we offer apart from the feeding alone? We offer technical support, so monitoring. We can come to train your farm, your farmers. Then if you have a lighting program, we can assist you to draw that. Then the quality of your water, you can come and assess. Then the husbandry practices and environmental factors. Do you know that you also gain something for the environment if you use top feed? That is the excess of nutrients that go into the environment to pollute environment. With top feed, it is very, very minimal. So with that, you have a lot to gain. Then the farm management tools. That's what we are. I've said the other time that we come to your farm and train and general farm audit. Do you know that our farm, to wrap it up, do you know there's something we call microbial audit? Please, any farmer that knows that, let's all raise up our hand. Microbial audit. When you want to stock your bed, you are supposed to do what? Microbial audit. With our team of vets, they can come on request to do the microbial audit. It will help you, we link you to the lab. The lab that will tell you the type of microorganism, the pathogen that you have in that farm. But many of us, we farm with closed eye. God will help us. God will open our eyes.
Thank you, sir. All right. We have 1 or 2 more product presentation, and we told them to please make it very brief. But before then, let's have Dr. Oluwole Banjo of Park Agro Ventures just give us a pep talk for just 1 to 2 minutes. Dr. Banjo, please. Then we'll have Dr. Frank from New Hope come immediately after this time out.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Good afternoon, everybody. I've not actually come here to market a product, but I met one of the organizers, our moderator, that while the panel session was going on, it was like an industry affair. He did not allow some of us on the field to even say something or make comment. And I so much appreciated that. After that, he actually wanted to allow one or two of us to say something. And I'm going to say this based on my experience, both first as a marketer, which I was before, then as a field man, and somebody who is also into research. And over the years, most of these producers, manufacturers, hatchery operators, and what have you, they will actually want to defend their industry. And most time, we don't have people to defend our own side of it. And I want to put some of these questions to them. I wish they are here. Because I follow that most time they blame we farmers for not doing things right. And I always ask them, if I will pay 400 naira, 450, 500 to buy DOC, why should I start checking the navel, checking the yolk, checking the cheek length, checking this and checking that? Why is there no quality control? Why can't they do all this for me and I pay, even if I'm paying a high price? Let me be sure what is being delivered on my farm is I close my eyes and I go. And I think some of them should come and answer some of these questions. The same thing goes for the feed miller. I told you I'm in the research industry as well. There was once most of these branded feeds. I searched junior nutritional composition. What the lab gave me was different from what they have on their label. All the branded feed I tested, I'm not saying all of them in the industry, but some of them were close, but most of them were far away. I have done study on mycotoxin analysis of most of our feed. They are very, very high. Even recently, I did pesticide analysis. They are high. And you push all this to the farmer and you start battling with it. I wish they are here. I think these are some of the things I want PAN to look into. We lack quality control in all facets of the industry. And the farmer, the commercial farmer, bears the brunt at the end of the day. You can imagine now, several, I know one or two of you must have witnessed this or have this experience. You have problem, you go and complain to the hatchery. After so much pressure, if you are in their good books and you are one of their big customers, what they will tell you that they will replace it for you. Maybe 50%. Then I ask my question, what of the feed I gave them for 4 or 5 weeks? Who is going to pay for it? So the farmer bears the brunt. The same thing with drugs. Most of our drugs. An Israeli man once came to my company then, and we went around to most of the stores, commercial stores, vet stores, and he was like, where do you people get all these drugs you are selling? You can't sell this in Israel. And he kept quiet. He said, well, I told him, this is Nigeria, anything goes, don't worry. That is one of the problems. PAN, please help us look into it. We need standard quality control. Our industry, I once spoke to a businessman, he said, why are we investing in this industry? Because it's an all-commerce affair. Everybody garbage in, garbage out. As long as you have money to invest, you can start. It's not like that in most other professions. I mean, I can't just wake up today and say, I want to be an accountant in a company. I mean, even if I finish as an accountant in university, I can't still not practice. I must go for professional studies. I mean, why don't we have something like that in our industry? So that not everybody just do anything he likes and you send out products that are not. Why can't we have that? PAN, please help us to see what you can do about that as well. We need to professionalize. We need to specialize as well. Who are the broiler producers? Who are the layers, what do you call it? Point of lay producers. So when you want to buy, you know where to go and you get quality products. We should have. Let us leave government out of this. Are we doing our own side before the government will come in? It is when we are in one voice and we are doing our own side, then the government will come in and help us to put our industry in order. Please, I also want to know, I'm throwing this to PAN also. Do we know our demand for meat or for egg in Nigeria? Are we underproducing for us, the farmers, or overproducing? Like Doctor gave us the example of Ghana. I think farmers, we need to start doing marketing. In fact, I talked to somebody today that I think the best way to make money in this industry is to start marketing and forget production. And you make the money, you make all the money. Rather than doing production is becoming so cumbersome. The government policy comes in January, by March is another story entirely. And you start battling with it. Exchange gauge was about 300 or what have you at the beginning of the year. Now we are talking of 500 plus. You don't expect the Ashman to reduce its price now. Most of his inputs are imported. So there's problem in the industry. But to me, I think marketing is much of anything. Let's market, let's sell our product. Let people sell, let somebody specialize and start selling the product so that then we can also sensitize. I once met a farmer, I told somebody who produces egg but doesn't eat egg. He said, you can't eat egg because of cholesterol. And it's producing egg. If I ask most of us here who are even farmers, how many eggs have you eaten this week? We don't consume even our product. Some of us cannot even convince our society, that our small church-based society, that instead of going to buy cow, let's use chicken for this small party. Most of us would rather go and buy cow for our weddings and what have you. If you have good broilers, you can slaughter them and you will feed everybody in the party. So let us learn to market. If some people are going to specialize in marketing, marketing is different from sales. Let us push, let us have billboards. Coke, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, what have you, all of them? You still see their billboards everywhere. Television, advert, and what have you. Why can't we do something in Pansa? Please help us talk to our leaders. Then I'm appealing, please let us learn to do capacity development. Let us learn to train and retrain ourselves. The industry is evolving. It's not what it was 20 years ago. There are new things that are coming up. Please let us do a lot of things on it and let us think of our line of industry as a business. Most of us do it as part-time. I'm talking of most of us that have 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 beds because we are more in the industry than all these 20,000, 50,000. They have more boards, but they can call the shots. They can even tell the hatchery, if you are not improving your quality, I'm not buying, and the hatchery will be running. But most of us that have 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, I know a lot of us are here. Please let us continue to hype up our capacity and so that we can be more efficient in our work. That is all I have to tell you. Thank you so much.
A round of applause for Dr. Banjo. That's been very insightful, and I hope that we'll take that home and work on it. And on the part of PANOG or PAN, again, I should wrap up all what Doctor said. It goes to, I will say money, interpret that, money answer right all things, and we'll say it's money we used to do association. And so please, let's just take it home. Let's join our PAN group. It's very, very essential. I must tell us, even up till now, PAN national, we are not gazetted by the federal government. I mean, we need to do some things. So that we can have that corporate entity that we can, all we can do is just morally persuade ourselves. We can't do more than what we are doing, just talk. But to action some of the things we are doing, we really need to have some legal standing that requires some pushing, some lobbying at the National Assembly, but we have not gotten that status yet because we don't have the number yet. We don't have the financial muscle to sponsor a bill at the National Assembly. So the overriding take home for me is that we need to grow this group. If you see the way the Okada riders enforce their laws, the way they make their members comply to their dictates, I mean, it will amaze us. And look at the kind of people we are. We are very big and mighty, but our group really cannot bite. We can only encourage ourselves. So please, let's ramp up this number. Let's talk to our neighbors, our friend farmers. Let's join our groups, our farmers group, so that we can have a very loud voice. And we have to influence what is happening at those who are making policies. Most of the things haunting us now, they are policies of assault. You don't come today, a new policy, tomorrow another one, and we can do have a say in forming those policies. And all these policies affect us directly. And I wish we could all do this as we go from here. So please join me when welcoming Dr. Frank from New Hope, as it takes just 10 minutes to market what they have for us.
Great farmer. Well, I want to say a big thank you for this wonderful opportunity to have a very, very short and precise presentation. Well, I must say congratulations for most of us that are listening now, because thank you, Dr. Wageti. He made a very good, detailed explanation concerning the management of our broiler. But he said something. He said 70% of your input is on feed. And I'm not just here to market our feed. I'm also here as a farmer. So even all the lectures, all the 3 days lectures that we're having, if you have not gotten anything, whatever I tell you now, go with it. And it's all about your calculation and your input on your feed. No, the other farmer, Dr. Wageti was asking him, how many bags of feed were you able to use to, finish your 2.1 kg of birds? He was saying 140, 142, 145. That's another mistake that most farmers, we don't actually take cognizance of. Okay, you're collecting a bird of 1,000. You don't know how many bags you need. You are getting a bird of 500. You don't know how many bags you need to attain the 3.5 kg. Yet, I know the farmers are trying their best in terms of record keeping, but before you even venture into any business, sit down, calculate how many number of birds am I getting? How many number of feeds? How many quantity of feeds do I need to buy? So this is, and the vet aspect of it is very little, the drug aspect of it is very little, aside your feed asset. But the feed is what they will consume. So right now, ICT, please, I will just show a very little slide, because I want to be precise. If you get your DOC, usually we know that we have 50 in a carton. So I want to use the simplest example so far, so that wherever we are getting our birds, we know number of feeds that we need. Not just, give me 10 bags, give me 20 bags. Before you even venture into the business at all, you sit down and you do a calculation. You can buy the feed that you need for a cycle. So right now, he made mention of early feeding. Early feeding, if you collect your DOC now, 3 days, they won't die. 3 days, the mortality might be reduced without feeding them. Because of the yolk. That yolk is actually meant for immunity stimulation. That is, the movement, the yolk is there. Why they are not dying is because that yolk is an energy reserve. It's giving them energy, water, and also feed. But by the time they are now relying on that yolk for such energy, the immunity will be slow. So when you get your birds, at that first 3 days, ensure you feed your birds properly in the first day so that that yolk will be used for immunity. ICT. So, please, the slide. The immune system of the day-old chick is not fully developed, and hunger hinders the growth of the immunity of the birds. That's why when you do your first lasota, you'll be wondering, why am I having this? Why am I having that? It's because they haven't taken enough feed to attain their immunity. Early feeding increases chick resistance to diseases. This is another added advantage. By feeding them early, they have ability to fight the little pathogen in their body in the first 3 days. Early feeding also improve chick uniformity. Dr. Wageti made mention of that. He said you need to watch out for what? For their weight and uniformity. So the next slide now. Now, in New Hope, before we started production, for over a year or so, we took our time to research without producing anything at all. We took out our time, we took samples from different farms. Then they discovered that there are a lot of things. Thank God now, other feed millers, and they've also stepped up. Of course, this technology, like if you come to our factory, we are open. In terms of quality, the man that just was talking about quality control. Yes, we are open. You can come and see our lab. We are open. We take time to produce quality feed. So, but then they had a plan. And the plan is that for broiler, you shouldn't spend more than 5 weeks to attain your 2 kg. But then how do you do that? It's not here by coming telling us, they will eat 500 grams, they will eat 1.5 kg, they will eat 1.5 kg. How many bags do I need? Because it's only when you know the number of bags you need. Okay, then you know how to feed your bird ad libitum. Now, I'll use a very, very simple example. And we should go home with it. We are going to, because it's not a theoretical class. It's just a minor discussion. And we're going to do the calculation together. So that henceforth, we'll avoid such mistake. So now, studio, please, the next slide. Yes. I'll start with the broiler section. The plan is that in 5 weeks, you attain your 2 kg. And how do you get that? The plan is 133, right? That 133 now, 1 stands for 500 grams. In 2 weeks, one bird is going to consume 500 grams of feed in 2 weeks. I'm not just here to tell you that 500 grams because you might not actually, do your calculation very well. But I'm going to use a carton of DOC. Usually we know that in a carton we have 50. The one that is there is just 51 extra, probably due to stress of transportation, and you have mortality. But then now you do a very simple calculation. Okay, I want to get 50 birds as an example. All you need to do is multiply 50 by 500 grams. So if you multiply 50 by 500 grams, it will give us 2,500 grams. You know, these feed are not packaged in grams, they are packaged in kilograms. So all you need to do, divide it by 1,000. So that will give us 25 kg. So meaning in a carton of DOC broiler, you need 1 bag for 50 birds in 2 weeks. You understand now? Now, when you are done with that phase, we call it broiler super starter crumble. Why it's been done in crumble form is because of the size. At that moment, they need to pick it. So it's been designed in a crumble form. And that feed is not meant to start producing muscle. It's to stimulate the immunity of the birds. So that's why you see them, they start having long intestine, equality of DOC also determined. So at that stage now, you need 1 bag for 50 birds. So if you are getting 100 birds, you need 2 bags. If you are getting 150 birds, you need 3 bags. So by that now, you can, before you even collect your DOC at all, before you venture into the business, sit down and do your calculation. Now, the next phase now, we call it broiler starter. Now, at that 2 weeks that the GIT is being developed, the immunity of the bird, because once the villi start getting matured, the lymph nodes start helping the immunity of the birds. So now you switch to starter phase. That starter phase is a crumble, is a pelletized feed. Because at that age now, they can now pick pellets. But farmers are making a lot of mistakes when they get to that phase. Now, this is not written here. It's for us that are here that are listening. And I will make mention of that. But before then, now we have 1 bag for 1 carton. The next phase now, how many bags do we need? We need 1,500 grams for that bird to consume it for what? For 2 weeks again. Now, 1,500 grams is what the bird will consume at the starter phase. So all we need to do is 1,500 grams multiplied by 50. That will give us 7,500 grams, if I'm correct. So 7,500 grams is what 1 bird will consume at the starter phase. 7,500 grams divided by 1,000. That will give us 75 kg. The feed is not being packaged in the 75 kg. Yes, so you just do what? 75 kg divided by 25. That will give us 3 bags. Now, at that phase now, broiler super starter 1 bag, starter 3 bags. So in 4 weeks, you've used 4 bags. So if you have 100 birds, you know that, okay, you will need 6 bags. You get it down. So you can go home, whatever amount of birds you want to collect. If it's 1,000, it's 5 million. Just calculate the way I've said it. Now, at the final phase now, which is the finisher phase, I received a lot of calls from farmers. Doctor, our bird is not picking this starter. In fact, I also, what Dr. Wageti said concerning 2-phase feeding, I also throw a little light about that. But some farmers will design their own plan. They will give them a finisher and super starter. So now the next phase now, which is the finisher now, they need 1,500 grams. So that 1,500 grams for finisher now that you use, 1,500 grams divided by number of birds you have, that will multiply by 50 now. That will give us same 7,500 grams divided by 1,000, 75 kg divided by 25. So meaning in 5 weeks, they will have consumed 7 bags. Yes, for 50 birds. So whatever, if you're getting 100 birds, 14 bags, it's continue. So that's how we do our calculation. So at that stage now, you can confidently attain your 2.0 kg and above. Why we say that 2.0, we pegged it at 2.0 is because so that tomorrow you not see me as Dr. said this is not correct. You achieve more than that. And the plan is that ICT. Hello. Yes. The plan is at 1, 3, 3. First phase, 1 bag. Second phase, 3 bags. Then the last phase, 3 bags. So making 7 bags. It's not actually 7 bags. So it's 500, 1,500, 1,500. So we can go back home and do our calculation before we even venture into broiler business. Great farmer, no farmer. At least with this now, we can do our analysis in terms of feed consumption. So the other point why I receive calls from different farmers is that, okay, my birds are not picking it. If you are switching from any feed, from one phase to another, you require at least 3 days to switch. If you are even switching from one product to another one, you require 3 days. Because there's what we call gut adaptability. One, if you want to switch now from broiler super starter, which is a crumble form, and broiler pellet, which is a pelletized form, you don't need to introduce them at once. Day one, you do your mixing. That's how it's been done. So that they will get used to the size and they can pick it up. Day one, you will give them 75% portion of the old feed. Mix it with 25% portion of the new feed. Then 50% portion of the old feed. That's day 2 now, second day. 50% portion of the old feed and 50% portion of the new feed. Then the third day now, you can give them 25% portion of the old feed and 75% portion of the new feed. So within that phase, you can quickly switch. If you are also switching from pre-layer to layer, you do the same method. Because having done that, one, to save the stress of you calling, birds are not picking, and they are looking at the feed. Yes, when they are hungry, they will eat it. But then know that they will lose 1 day of not feeding them. And what Dr. Wageti said, it will reduce the weight and it will be lagging behind. Great farmer, no farmer. I hope at least with this we can always do our analysis. Yes. So for the layer line, I will also be brief about it too. I'll just mention the few points so that it won't look like a repetition. Now, studio, please, the next slide, go change the slide. So layer, just go to layer. Yes, this diagram is what I will use because this is just a summary of the analysis for layer. Now, is that some people say, okay, I have a point of lay, there are 14 weeks, just like the weight, it's just like the age. I said the age is not in the weight. Sorry, the age is not in the weeks, rather, it's in the weight. Many farmers say, okay, they bought birds of 14 weeks and it's weighing 800 grams, it's weighing 1 kg. So meaning it has been underfed. And that period, they need to balance the calcium phosphorus level. Because calcium comes majorly from 2 ways, even though it's a human being. You are either getting from the guts or you are getting from the reserve bone. Then you have to supplement with maybe Keprovoska or get tutorial drugs or to just complement. But this pre-layer phase is very, very important. Old method for farmers, they will buy grower and they will buy pre-layer and layers. They will mix it together, saying that, okay, they are giving them pre-layer. No, you don't need to do that. Go for pre-layer feed. So because of our time, we'll still be organizing more of the farmers meeting and forum, where I will come around, visit your farm. And for New Hope, the same way we did the calculation for broiler is the same thing. At the first phase, one bird requires 350 grams. Multiply it by the number of cartons we are getting. Divide it by 1,000. Divide by 25 kg. You know the number of feed you need. Great farmer, no farmer. All right. So because of time, maybe our next meeting, We will have more presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank Dr. Frank. Yes. All right. Sorry, a very quick announcement. I don't. The owner of this vehicle, FKJ 46G, is a frontier. They've been looking for the owner. Is blocking some other. Is the person is the owner here? It's a green pickup frontier. All right. Please, if you know the owner, can please help us call and let him repark. All right, and I guess to cap it all up, we have a product presentation by Animal Care. They too will take just 10 minutes of our time to market their product. They are one of our sponsors, major sponsors also. So please let me welcome Mr. Lawrence. 10 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Mr. Lodson Akwekegbe. I'm from Animal Care. It's a pleasure to be here. A lot of things have been said since the inception of this program. We have learned a lot, so much. I myself have learned a lot. But learning is a continuous process. Please, let me have the slide, please. I represent Animal Care, and I'm here not to talk too much stories, but to promote animal care and the aspect of the nutrition division. As you can see, promoting animal feed and animal pride. These two divisions make up the nutrition division. Please, let's start, please. Quickly. Yeah, my focus will be on the poultry ration. Like we all know, we have these categories of poultry ration: the finished feed, which is the mash, the 30% concentrate, poultry concentrate, and the animix. This animix comes in 2.5% and 5% for poultry. And let me just hold on to this first. Now, these two, this first one, finished feed, is the mash. We all know that direct feeding by feed your bird, Abi? Now, the other one, 30% concentrate, you only need two major materials to make it a complete feed. But this other one, the animix, is a makeup of the microingredients rather, that you need the major conventional materials to make it up to become a finished feed. Now, what this 30% means is this, and what this 2.5% and 5% means, it means that the company is taking 30% of the risk in feed formulation, because most people will buy the concentrate of any feed and they will think everything, all the risk rests on the manufacturer. No, the manufacturer is taking 30% of that risk for 30% concentrate. It means you, as a farmer that wants to add other materials that constitute over 70% or 70% of the man, you are the one also taking the bulk of the liability. So please buy your materials well, analyze them well, and you're going to get the same quality of feed as it were if you are using Animal Care finished feed. The same thing if you are using this animix, get the soya, get the wheat offer, get the limestone, good quality, you're going to get the best of result. Now, in recent time, we introduced the heat-treated feed. I like using that word because considering the process of production, that feed has been passed through heat. Abi? Now, let's go, next slide. And next slide. Next slide, don't worry. Next slide, just move. Now, heat-treated feed. We all know the advantages and disadvantages. There's nothing that does not have advantages, does not have disadvantages. Even though heat-treated feed has its own disadvantage, but its advantages outweighs the disadvantage, and its advantages surpasses that of the mash. And these are some of the advantages which we know. The best are able to pick this thing, almost all the nutrients, the nutrients they need are in a lump form. So wastages is reduced and the palatability is increased. And it has been researched and found that birds do very well, more than 3 times if they feed on mash, because the mash also has its own disadvantage. That's also very, we can't talk about that here now. Please, next slide. Now, we're introducing this new range in our feed line, and we call it Nutria from Animal Care. The word Nutria represents something that is of premium quality. And what brought about this superior quality, if you look at what we have been listening all this while and the trend in industry, In fact, a lot of researches are going on in industry as regards bringing the best of genetical improvement is going on. And that has driven the demand of farmers to want to meet a particular need. And it's also translating to the manufacturers to see what they can do to meet up with the market demand. And that is what brought about this. Please, just leave it. Heat-treated feed made from mash, feed ingredients that are broken down into this form. Please, next slide. And this is the picture of the bag. We have seen it outside in our stand. Please, let's go on. And we have 2 classifications. We also carried out many researches, and we are focused on 2 classes. The Nutria Broiler Super Starter Crumbles and the Nutria Broiler Finisher Super Finisher Pellet. And the ranges through which you use them is stated 1 to 21 days and 22 days to 35 days. We decided to leave that word to slaughter because most people may decide to feed their broiler far beyond 22 days. But our target is 35 days. Please, next slide, please. This is how it is again. Next slide. Now, what makes this feed so unique? That is the essence. It comes with guaranteed zero compromise to quality standard. I can assure you that it's a new meal. Most of us, it has been commissioned recently in the last 2-3 months, and you can be sure of the precision in terms of homogeneity of the mix, the quality that will come out from it. You can be sure of that because it is a new meal. I can show you that. Then it is uniquely formulated. That is the most important thing, with performance enhancing additives. And what are those additives that makes it unique to meet the market need? Next slide. The first one there, we have this product we call N-biotic. It's an additive. We have acidifier. We all know that. We have multi-enzymes. We have super, which you know. But I'll be talking a little about N-biotic. Please, next slide. N-biotic. This is it. Now, this N-biotic, it also comes in liquid form. And if you go to our stand, you see the Ligbiotic. That is the liquid form of N-biotic. Now, what does N-biotic do? Please, next slide. 100% natural growth promoter. That is from plant origin. Now, we are aware of the gram-negative pathogenic microorganisms, the damage they cause in the GIT. Now, what this one does is it helps to improve the growth of the beneficial microorganisms in the gut. And by way of competitive exclusion, they grow, they multiply, and they give benefits to the intestine. Dr. Akintala was saying something here earlier on. He talked about intestine. If the intestine of our birds is compromised, the rate of feed absorption, digestion, assimilation, and utilization will be affected. So with this product, you are sure that your birds, whatever they eat, the ability to convert it very well to flesh will be very, very high. And that is why we can confidently say this is just one of amongst other additives that we have added that will help your birds to do very well and give you even 2 kilogram body weight at the end of 5 weeks. We've gotten a lot of testimonials, no doubt about that. Please, next slide. We've got a lot of, next slide. I've talked about all these ones. Just go on. The feed trials that we have conducted so far, and it is still what? Ongoing. Many farms have testified in the north, in the east, and in the west. Soonest, we are going to compile all the researches together and put them for our viewing. We have gotten up to 2 kilogram body weight within 5 weeks. I can tell you categorically about that. And so that is why we are so confident that this product will deliver. You can be sure of that. Next slide. My guy was saying something when we were having a meeting downstairs. He said, cash is king, but profitability is what? The kingdom. So it is of no value to have a king without a kingdom. It is of no value to us seated here this afternoon or all this while for how many days, thinking of cash, not having the mindset of profitability at heart. It means the essence of our business is useless. We all want to make the best of our input within the shortest possible time. And that is why Animal Care is here to service you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for making that so brief. And I believe with that, we have come to the end of these sessions. I believe we are all taking, lots and lots of things. Can we just appreciate ourselves for coming? We really like you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the time to sit through the whole session. And I can only pray that our businesses will survive these hard times in Jesus' name. And next year, we'll gather together like this to share testimonies of greater things in Jesus' name. Thanks so much for coming. And the hall is still open. Let's visit those stands and let's make sure we collect all their take-homes. Yes.
Someone is actually blocking the law from going on.
And also, this guy is still blocking more people.
Can they hear the exhibition?
Somebody, I'll give somebody to announce. Under pilot, wine color. Under pilot, wine color. TRE 121 EU. Under wine color, under pilots. Please help us repack. We'll give it to, that's Mr. Tyler.